All right, it's Open Comms. It's Friday. We made it. Another week. Another one down.
Hell yeah.
And another one down.
Another one down.
Another one down. Hell yeah.
We are also joined by Alexi of Card. From,
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, welcome. It's from the Declarations of War podcast. Come over to hang out.
The longest running Eve podcast.
Longest running.
Yeah, we just did episode 302 about 3 or 4 hours ago.
I saw episode 300 is the history of Noir. I haven't listened to it yet, but
yeah, one of the rare ones. We don't usually do video as a part of the show, but we did for that one, so it's out on YouTube as well as on your podcast feeds. We got dressed up for it and everything.
That's nice.
Basically had Brisk Rubal take over the show, and he interviewed us for a change.
Do you have a link for the site?
Well, I do.
Yeah, I'll dig it up somewhere.
What's up, Nate?
For chat.
Okay.
Oh, good job, Scott.
I did not open up the show notes.
Greetings.
The show notes live in a tab.
I figure like war discussions, you'll be a bit of it, and then that's kind
of Declaration of War and
Declaration of War.
I know you drink, 'cause I've seen you do it. You drinking tonight?
You did not see me drink.
You drank water at least. You've drank something.
I drank something.
That man has never drinking a liquid in his life.
Enjoying some crystal, the original. I love a good soda, but I am unfortunately out. My cask runs dry. It's a sad state of affairs, gentlemen.
That is a sad state of affairs. Drayden does it all the time. Don't worry about it.
I do well.
Alex, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm switching it up from Modelo to Irish Mist tonight because I am celebrating a new job today. So,
nice.
Thank you. I am drinking the Black and Tan from Yingling again tonight. I'm trying to stay off the rum so I can be semi-coherent.
We'll monitor progress on that as the show goes on.
I make no promises.
We'll give you a grade at the end of the night.
Well, I'm not going to hit those stupid mushroom gummies. Not doing those tonight.
We'll do a shot for Ack here in a second. I got some Woodford Reserve bourbon, but I got a little like one of those like where you can make like the whiskey ball ice. Got one of those. I put it there. They're not
those.
They're not frozen yet, so I'm gonna have that later. But for now, I'm just doing like a vodka and cranberry. Until then,
so the ice ball is actually whiskey, or are you just talking about?
No, it's just ice. But I put it in the freezer like 45 minutes ago, so it's just not all the way frozen yet. So in about an hour, I should be able to get them out.
Mine always come out lopsided. So
I don't think these are gonna come out well. It was like some $5 fucking silicone thing at Walmart. So it's probably gonna be like it's probably gonna be like an ice like half sphere, but
be an ice egg.
Yeah.
I saw while we were on it, I saw a ice sphere maker, like an ice ball. It made 2 of them at a time, and it was over $200.
That seems a little pricey.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Probably makes some good ones though.
Mine makes 6, and they actually come out pretty good.
Perfect.
Well, that was the claim, that it had like some sort of special design that pushed all the pressure out, so you would get a pure, perfectly round, no air bubble chunk of ice.
A $200
I've never known was a
$200. I don't think I need that. Yeah, exactly. I never knew it was a problem.
Doesn't that shit melt anyway? Yeah, but it's nice until it does.
I have a 20-sided dice ice cube maker.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's a pain in the ass.
I bet.
Skyhawk, what do you got?
I am drinking my very last Summersby cider that I brought back from Reykjavik.
Very nice.
Very cool.
All right. So,
Redline?
Oh, Redline. That's right.
We skipped him. It's okay.
Damn. Well, I'm drinking Sunny Delight this evening, gentlemen. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Sunny D?
Is it delightful?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh shoot! You know what? I'm going off camera for 1 second. I can upgrade my drink here.
Add some Sunny D. That's what I thought.
I had some Tang. It's way better than Sunny D.
And some vodka? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sunny D and vodka, man. I just came up with that. I don't know.
We just lost a key.
You did?
Alec, he's going to be right back, he said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Commander Starscream.
I'll just leave the names Don't worry.
I
When he
Yeah,
comes back,
he's
they'll
probably
be
back.
correct.
I'm Alec now.
And
Oh.
You have all the power.
hey, Starscream.
I have all the power.
But yeah, so
let's
any
make a
minor
drink-
stuff
a
for
drink-
the before we do the
a drink-
yeah
drink for Ackroth.
Yeah, we had adopt a shot for Ack.
We did get a community beat today, although let's see. I don't think there's really anything huge in it.
Yeah,
There's probably stuff about the community.
Upgrades, people. Upgrades.
Ooh, that's-
Straight, fresh squeezed orange juice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
Way to be, dude.
A little Captain Morgan in that. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The
Can you believe some people drink that straight? It's unbelievable.
Captain
Orange
Morgan?
juice? I know it's ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do that.
one thing I was going to ask is anyone else's launcher updating every single time?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just me.
It is not right now. It was, but it stopped doing that. I didn't do
I
anything to
opened
it.
it
but all of a
today,
sudden it
but
stopped doing it.
I opened it today, like about an hour ago, when I got home to get my login claims, and it had to update. So it's like every day.
As
It's
soon
not
as you
big.
clicked on as soon as you clicked on play now, then it updates. Mine was doing that
if I
for a
click
while.
on it updates during the launch. It's got a little loading bar, like it's patching or something. And if I try to launch it before that finishes, then it comes to the like inactive version, and like you can't log in, and you have to close it and then relaunch it after it's done. It's not big. It's like 160 megabytes each time, so it's only like I only have to wait like a few seconds, but it's just kind of like, are they actually hot fixing stuff every day, or is that just something that's
I think
going
your
on?
launcher's fucked.
Cool. That's how I like it.
Well, sometimes. Yeah.
It's the best way.
But yes. But okay, so anything else before? Because the war talk is going to be a bit.
Do we want to
later.
just
Yeah.
Do we want to do the community beat early in the show or save it for later? 'Cause we can run through that.
You run through it real quick, then we can talk about declarations.
Yeah, we'll do the community beat. We'll do the declarations. Then we'll get whatever war
Talk
stuff.
about
So
the non-war.
I put the link to the community beat in chat. So we finally crossed over the 20-year anniversary for Eve. So Eve is 1 year away from being able to legally drink in the U.S. See what else we got in here. Oh, that's right. Also, Kriba reached his own special milestone on the 31st of May, where his tune has been in his corp for 20 years now.
Wow.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's about the
Awesome.
longest easily that I think I've ever seen.
I wasn't
That's
sure if he
pretty
still
fucking
played or
cool.
not.
He's been in that corp since May 30th of 2004. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
What the longest running corp in EVE Online is.
So then next up in here,
Yeah.
they show off some artists bringing spaceships to life. There's a link to a YouTube video in there. But he uses just water painting and comes off with some pretty cool stuff. I haven't looked through all of it. I just kind of skimmed through a little bit of the YouTube video, but it looks pretty cool.
I actually have
Definitely-
multiple prints of his, like
Nice.
canvas, huge wall painting things. They are incredible.
Oh.
Looks like they should be at a museum.
I didn't realize he did stuff that big. That's awesome.
Well, he let me put it to another printer because I wanted something a little bit larger. So I have a, I don't know what the dimensions are exactly, but it's got to be 3x2 or maybe a little bit bigger, 3.5 by 2.5. Just Titan. It's awesome.
Which one is this? This is the Lloyd George or the other guy?
Lloyd George, yeah.
Where does he sell these somewhere?
He's got a site. I don't know if he's like what his monetization is now that what CCP's kind of rolled out, updated on partnership, but let's take a look. If you haven't checked the site out too, it's just incredible.
They did not
It
link
looks
the
like he
site,
does have
yeah.
a store. So yeah, for sale, bros. He's got a Barbaroga.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, I'm looking.
there you
Ooh, some. I like these. I like that
Very cool. Let's
megaphone.
leak that. Very
Barbaroga
cool.
exec or
Just
exec navy.
outstanding.
I really love it when artists do this. I mean, obviously it's his passion. He loves to do it. It's really cool. Then he's sharing it with everybody. I know he's selling it, but still, it's pretty cool. I have several
He
of
would share it.
stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean,
think
if you're gonna
the-
buy the print, you should. I have no problem buying it.
Yeah,
was
support the
he-
guy. Like it's good stuff. But even before I think he was legally able to sell them, he would just give them to people. He put it out on Reddit, high quality files. People could download them, do whatever they wanted.
I do
He's
appreciate.
an awesome guy. He's been on Declarations of War before. If you search his name, you can check out his previous episode. Really interesting process how he makes the art. It's very cool.
Hey, Bluetooth. Oops.
So then we've got
That's really cool.
let's see. They say, of course, nothing, okay, almost nothing makes us happier than witnessing skirmishes in space. And they came across a compilation from Crovey and Test Alliance, please ignore. So there's a YouTube video in there that they made.
Is that
Eve Amsterdam is also coming up next week.
Oh,
Are you
Amsterdam.
just jumping all over the place?
Yeah, Eve Amsterdam. What?
I was thinking Down Under because they mentioned Down Under in there. I was like, no,
Well,
that's
you don't
September.
understand that.
And then ending the community beat on a sad note, CCP in here announced that CCP Amazon passed away about 4 weeks ago. And during her time at CCP as a game master and previously was a streamer, was known as Arabella, Lady Hellcat, and GM Tigress.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Hellcat. Yeah, I've heard Hellcat.
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, I didn't recognize her under the other name. Oh, that's terrible.
There and apparently, yeah, I wish I'd known about this before, but there was a vigil last weekend that was organized.
I saw some pings about a vigil. I didn't know that's who that was for. I saw things that was basically saying there's a vigil going on and Reds may come in system. Please don't shoot them type of thing. Ping.
Gotcha. But that is everything in the community beat.
All right. So declarations of war.
Yes.
Give a little intro for the podcast thing.
So we are one of Eve's oldest podcasts, as we touched on. We've been going for a long time. The low episode count, we do episodes every other week. Back in the day, it was every 2 to 3 months before we really got into a rhythm. But it's been a really great journey. We are officially the most listened to audio-only piece of Eve content ever, which is cool. And occasionally we'll compete with like the Meta Show for viewers, for listenership, if they've got guests on and things, which has been really cool. And I didn't even look at our stats for the longest time till CCP rolled out the partnership program and I had to go pull them. I was like, whoa, holy shit.
Nice.
That's
It's
awesome.
a lot of feeds.
Incredible.
What year did you guys start? Do you remember what year it was?
I want to say it's 2008. I really should know off the top of my head, but it's been a long time.
It was like 2010, though, wasn't it, when you really got into the like every other week was going strong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the first 2 years or so, we were pretty occasional. I was in school. My co-hosts were kind of doing this super casually. We had some production. Sorry, it was 2010s when we really got going. So we would have kicked it into gear around 2012 in terms of a regular production schedule.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we had some issues getting editing consistently. We had a little hiccup with hosting. Back in the day, hosting was super hard to get, especially if you're a broke college student. So there was a player who offered hosting for ISK for like Eve related content. I'm like, oh, all right, great. And then he just up and shut his site down with like zero notice. We lost a whole bunch of episodes. We had to figure out another place to put them. That took a while.
That wasn't through Cypher, was it?
No.
No, okay, you didn't use him.
It was before him, I think, even. But that was bad. I think we cost us a couple dozen EPs. We're just like poof, gone. And this again was way back in the day. I couldn't afford a big hard drive. I didn't have hard copies of a lot of them anymore. I learned that lesson. So now I keep hard copies all the time. We own our own hosting through like a traditional web provider. Um, but a couple hard lessons there at the start. But once we got into the rhythm, it was great. We started going monthly, and then we had a little co-host switch up, and we said, "Oh, can we do this more often? What about every other week? Can we do that?" So that's where we're at right now. Like I said, we don't really do a live stream of it. It's just recorded on our Discord, but it is all in one take with minimal editing. But we just want to have that kind of conversational feel and not have to worry about no diffs or a chat or anything like that. We may at someday. We've done it from time to time as a special event kind of thing, but really we just want to focus on the interview and on the topics that come up. And content is a mix of guests and whatever stories they're bringing with them to Eve current events from our perspective as a neutral-ish PvP group that works for various sides of nullsec and lowsec and wormhole space, and our own exploits from what we're doing. Like if we go on a contract, or sometimes the co-hosts were in Noir and then they've left and gone and done other things, they'll bring in stories from their groups about what's going on in wormhole space or faction warfare or wherever they happen to be. And
I was just
that's
going to ask
been the
that.
mix.
You still do you used to like discuss your contracts once they were closed, right? You still do that then? I always
Yeah,
found that really interesting. Yeah, how you guys would break it down after it was done.
we don't do them ongoing because who knows what could happen. I don't want to say anything's gonna make me look super dumb. But once everything's tied in a nice little bow and I've got some stats that I can read off, yeah, it's kind of our take on the old Mercenary Coalition after action reports that used to go out on the forums back in the day. Kind of give our after action report on the air.
And that's got to be well. I know it used to be a good recruiting tool for you guys, right? The after action reports, because that's how you got me to join at one point. So.
Yep, and it's a good recruiting tool for Noir too. I more than any other post or advertisement or whatever that we've done, the listeners of the podcast by far, by far.
So who is your co-host now?
We've got Zero Cool and Levitain. They are, I believe, if they're not, they're about to be. I think Lave almost certainly is like the longest serving co-host I've ever been on the show.
Cool.
We've been doing it for years together. I think the chemistry is really good. Been able to meet them both IRL when I was traveling to England. So that's, again, first co-host I've ever actually had the opportunity to have a beer with. And yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. COVID happened while they've been co-hosting the show. Lave is in the medical profession. We've talked about it on the show a little bit. So when that dropped, his schedule and ability to commit to the show for a long time was just totally up in smoke because they were, the medical system was overwhelmed. I think they're still feeling a lot of the stress of it, the after effects. And he's busy. We've all got families now, which is development that's changed in the past couple of years for some of us, anyway. Zero has come in and been a really big help on the production side of things. I lost my editor at one point. I had to learn how to do my own audio editing, and I
Yeah,
had
that's
done it
hard.
for a long time. It's cool. Zero is much better at it than I am, and he was like, "Oh, Alec, I could help with this. I've got like all these professional tools and professional softwares." And I said, "Are you sure? It's a lot of work." Yeah. All right. So he's been doing that for the past couple months, and it's been great. Gotten good
Nice.
feedback from listeners about the quality. He also remixed our new intro song that we launched in episode 300.
Did you create the song yourselves, or you guys just found a song?
It's actually my cousin.
Oh, nice. That's even better. That's cool.
Yeah.
We had a copyrighted song way back in the day, but I wanted to move the show over to iTunes and Apple. And Google in particular was really strict about not having any copyrighted material. I'm like, well, I guess we got to replace all the intros. Where can I get an original song? I don't make any music and I'm not going to buy something. My cousin was experimenting with making some beats, and one of them was just like, oh, let me go back and listen to these songs that he sent me a while ago. And one of them was just perfect. So I said, hey, cuz, can I use this? He said, yeah, go for it. So rolled it in. I spliced it a little bit myself to shorten it up and rearrange it a little bit so it made more sense in a 10-15 second bite. But that is the story of the Declarations of War intro that we've been using for years. And now Zero has remixed it with Brisk Rubal doing the voiceover and with an
Nice.
original mix of like the original intro plus a new synthwave sound. I think it looks awesome. It just sounds awesome.
That is very, very cool. So what did you have to do to prove that you owned it for Google?
It turned out nothing. I was still in school at the time, so I didn't know what was what. Apparently, nobody's going to check unless they flag it or something, at which point I'm sure they would go look at it, but flag away because we own the shit now.
That's funny.
But yeah, I thought it was like, oh, they're gonna go through and they're gonna notice that it's the song, and then I'm gonna lose the rights to post on the podcast. I didn't know it wasn't that big of a deal. It happens all the time.
That's funny. So starting in 2010, 2012 era, I was kind of going through my head all the different podcasts from back in the day. There was tons of them back in the day, like from Podside to Cap Stable, High Drag, Clue, Space Nerds, down. What was the wormhole one with? Oh, what's that called? Down the Pipe with
Oh yeah,
Rania. And you guys are the only ones that really survived that era, right? Everybody else is gone. I mean, some of the people who did that are doing other things, but that's pretty impressive. You guys should be very proud of yourselves for that.
thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And it's been interesting to see those podcasts come and go and restart and then go away again. As players come back and try to be active and get their old content going again. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Lost and Eve. That was
Lost
Jade
and Eve is so good.
they tried to bring it back, but neither one of them played the game anymore, right? And they're like, well, let's start playing the game. That lasted like 2 weeks. I was like, oh god, that was actually Lost and Eve is the one that made Rafe and I want to do a podcast. We
Yeah, I
heard
think it
that.
was the one that
Yeah.
I can't imagine listening to an Eve podcast before that one. So that was probably the one that put the idea into my head that I could even do it.
It's funny when you put it that way because that's what we said. Well, if they can do it, we can do it.
Well, I had listened to like non-Eve podcasts around that time. I had gotten into like Keith and the Girl and some comedy podcasts. So I was like interested in the medium and I loved listening to it personally. But then, oh, would people be even interested in me talking about my Eve stuff? And if so, like, how would I even go about recording it? Like, it seemed like such a impossible goal to like create a radio quality piece of audio that people would actually be entertained by. But you just rolled the dice. I saw Eve podcasts out there, Warp Drive Active, and Lost in Eve, and I was like, if it's possible for these guys, I bet I could figure it out. Let me take the time, go in, and you know, not make assumptions that I can't do it.
Yeah, for me, the Lost and Eve guys were very, very helpful because I just asked them, "How do you guys do it? What do you use? What programs you're using?" And they were super helpful. And they, as you know, then I got hooked up with the old, what's that? Skype. Remember the Skype channels? All the podcasters would be in that Skype channel.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was really helpful. It was kind of an interesting time. Oh, Warp and
Hilarious
Jump.
story about the podcasting community. The founder of the Drone Bay podcast, I actually met him in real life. We worked together briefly for a couple months before I knew he even played Eve and before I was podcasting. And
That's
then
awesome.
later we both started playing, both did podcasts, and now he's in my corp. It's like just weird. Eve is like that sometimes.
All world.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is like that sometimes. I'm trying to find a list, and there's just no comprehensive list anymore of all the old podcasts. Damn,
Okay.
Cypher for getting rid of that.
What are
I've
you
got to
getting
mention the
there in
Triglavian Times. They're like a podcast stream, but they recently went inactive, unfortunately. They were pretty good.
Oh, the guy who was doing that, didn't he run for CSM?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I remember him.
And I got to give a shout out to Federation Frontline and the Federation Frontline Report, our friends from the North.
That's a podcast or a stream?
Both, and they're still
Both.
going, thankfully. They focus almost exclusively on faction warfare issues. So that's Frozen Fallout and Night Flyer, those guys, that's their show.
Oh,
They
okay.
broadcast hella regularly. I cannot believe how well they keep to their schedule.
So Frozen Fallout was really cool, dude. Met him in Madison. Was it about 3 weeks ago? What was it about a month ago? Whatever it was. Super nice guy. So I have to check his show out.
Yeah, the best. Is the best host of an Eve meetup you could ever hope for. He's fun, half drunk most of the time. He's got his own fire pit. It's great.
Nice. So besides Declaration War, you also are the leader of Noir, mercenary group, right?
Yep.
The Mercenary Coalition no longer exists, correct?
Correct. They faded out. Must be 5 or 6 years ago now.
You were the leader of that alliance.
I was in leadership in that alliance. So was not the executor.
He took it over. It was him. I know it was.
We were one of the most active corp. I'll say that.
That's when I joined you guys. The Mercenary Coalition was still around. So it was a long time ago, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing MC go was hard. I had left NOR at that point because I could see the writing on the wall with MC. They, after World War B/Vietnam, they moved into Tribute, took a PvE pocket, blued up just about everybody they could, and obviously the other half of the game wasn't going to hire them because they were blued all the guys they hated. So they couldn't get contracts from anybody, and they just sat and ratted and rotted, and then eventually other players quit. There's
Yeah.
a handful of guys that still play from those days. The Noir guys, I think maybe 2 dudes that were in the corp at the time still play the game. Almost all of them quit after that experience and
Yeah, that's too
couldn't
bad.
bring them back.
Well, it's one of those things when somebody who makes the decisions is doing something that everybody else doesn't really want to do. I mean, you're gonna fail. It's gonna go down.
Yeah, but like I was literally the
mercenaries,
only
but-
guy. I was like, I was not able to convince or communicate myself well enough to like convince other people that this is how things were gonna go. They all wanted to stay. So I handed the CEO ship off to my second in command, and I kind of retired from being a mercenary. I went to Great Wildlands. I lived in NPC nullsec. I ran a trade hub. I mined. It's like the equivalent of living in a cave for me. And then when
completely
MC
different way to
collapsed, I was
treat.
able to get it back. I got Noir back. I relaunched it, and it's been a long rebuilding process, but we're actually doing really good right now. I think we're about as strong as we've ever been.
What
It's
kind
good
of
to hear.
contracts do you guys try to take or are willing to take? Anything, or do you guys try to stay in certain areas? Or what do you like to do?
We love to do nullsec, like roaming around PVE or PVE killing essentially. So if your Ishtars are out and about, go catch them, prevent miners, camp pipes, things like that. Do some hit and run. That's not always on offer, so we'll do similar things in low sec quite a bit. We've done a few jobs for big players in faction warfare that want to push or defend specific systems, or we took a job to create a frontline system from the back lines, the rear guards, which is very grindy, unfulfilling work, but was an interesting experience. And then we do a ton of stuff in wormhole space around evictions and mostly protection from eviction, actually. So
Okay.
people get their Astor House or their Athenor's hit. They're like, hey, we're a small, like 20-man corp. We're just in here to have fun with our friends. These guys are coming to kick us out. Can you come save our tower and buy us time to move all our stuff out? Sure. Do that a lot.
I could see the faction warfare thing, hiring mercenaries to do the scud work. It makes sense, right? You don't want your players getting, bogged down doing the stuff that's not that much fun. Let's go hire a mercenary to do it. It's work, I suppose, if that's your you gotta
Or,
take it.
I mean, we've been on the front lines too. Galente in particular, they're always outnumbered by Caldari and now Garistas. if they're tired of getting pushed around and they want to be able to push back, hey, can you guys focus on this constellation for 2 weeks? Sure. And we'll kill everything that moves.
Nice.
Oh, Shinji.
Like I said, I've
Thanks for
seen
the
you guys
gifted
operating
subs.
in low sec there. So
5 subs.
Oh, whoa,
Subs,
Shinji.
hell
Hey,
yeah.
Shinji.
Thanks, Shinji.
Shinji, thank you.
Thank-
Solve is a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
What's
fucking
streaming?
confirmed.
What you got in the background
take.
there, Drayden?
I just was goons came into GTAC-Q and they were all they had like several fleets on the Keepstar. I think they shot the Ansiblex in here, and so I wasn't sure what they were doing, but just in case something happened, they had like Raven navies
Potential for
and
some live coverage.
like a whole flycatcher fleet, some harpies and stuff. But they went back. I want to jump through this gate, probably die, but we were just talking shit about the haulers earlier. Why do people just jump through EFM when they know there's shit on the other side? They're just gonna die. But see, I have a interdiction nullifier and a warp core stab and a covert ops cloak. I'm gonna be safe, right?
100%. There's no chance
Yeah.
you're going to get caught.
I'm going.
Fuck yeah, do it. Go, 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 go. So have you guys looking to do some mercenary work in the war? Has anybody approached you? I guess you really probably can't talk about OPSEC stuff, but would you
Yeah,
do stuff in the war if somebody approached you? Is this something you'd
absolutely.
be open to? Okay, all right.
We get along famously with guys in the Imperium. Brisker Ball's been a long time podcasting bro for ages. And I've met him in person at various meetups. I've met Gobbins in person at various meetups. A lot of ex-Noir guys are in the Horde Pan Fam community. So we love people on both sides. I'm not rooting for either one of them to win or lose. I'm rooting for the fight and whoever throws me enough money first.
Fair enough.
They have enough pilots to do all the things they want to do, I'm sure. But I will also say that we are a very efficient ISK to damage on killboard conversion ratio. So on the money they spend on SRPing one fight, they could hire us for weeks and we'll be able to kill a lot of stuff. So just throwing that out there to any alliances or directors that might be interested.
Oh, got out. Yeah.
You got it. That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess
that's a lot of shit on there.
One of those things when you're in a mercenary group hired by somebody in a war situation, do you usually get the shit work or do you get to pick what you want to do? How's that usually work?
We rarely get to pick, but it isn't always the shit work. Sometimes it is. It's the thankless camping behind the lines that their members don't want to do because they want all the big, exciting structure fights. But we don't mind. We like that stuff. And then sometimes, especially on the smaller scale wars, like the recent conflict in Ohms last year between Boss and Hold My Probes and their coalition, we got to do pretty much everything from frontline structure fighting to uh, harassment structure pinging to roaming around killing ratters to like traditional small gang nano fighting between other fleets doing the same thing out there. It the thing about mercenary work is it's very variable. It's a little bit of everything. You never know what's going to come down on the next contract, and that's part of the challenge and part of the excitement for it if you're into that kind of gameplay.
That's very cool. So are you picky on your contracts? Can you be picky in your contracts?
There was a time where we couldn't. Now we definitely can be. I don't
Nice.
take any Empire jobs anymore. Maybe if CCP fixes the deck system a little bit, which Okami has recently hinted they might look at, I could always pick that back up. But right now, there's far too many exploits for it to be a fulfilling gameplay experience. It's just a frustrating structure grind that you may not always be able to get a kill off of at the end. I'm over it. So we don't do that anymore. And yeah, some jobs, we've been asked to do some things that are just not going to be remotely enjoyable. Someone asked me to reinforce 15 Metanox drills. When your fleets are the size of 10 to 15 people, forget it.
Well, no, the Metanox they don't have a damage cap, right? Is that correct?
They don't, but they have a huge amount of hit points. Like
Grind.
huge.
It's a big grind.
I mean, we're at the scale we were at. I think it took us an hour or two to do one of them.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm like, all right, dude, you could pick two. I'll do that.
Not 12.
So yeah, we can push back a little bit. Sometimes the people that reach out to us are not very experienced PvPers, as you might imagine. The reason why they need mercenaries is because they can't or don't know how to do something themselves. In that case, I try to be generous with my experience and kind of guide them to what I think they want, and then I'll give them a price for that, and they can push back to me and be like, "Oh, that sounds great, but could you do this?" Or, "I don't like the idea of this one thing or this date. Could we do it then? Could you do it in this way?" "Oh, yeah, sure, we can accommodate that." And then we'll
So
negotiate on a ISK value and a start time, and we'll go.
Smokey13 asked in chat, what kind of a price range? You don't have to give us your exact prices, but what range do you usually charge for different contracts? Like, do you base it on time? Do you base it on what the goal is?
First off, hi to Smokey and Hawkeye. We just worked with those guys on a job just the other day, actually. The pos that was bubbled up that we escaped from was in the wormhole they helped us reinforce.
Nice. I'm sorry, it was Bluetooth, not Smokey.
Well, I do see Hawkeye in there though. Hey man, and I see Smokey. Hey, Smokey Bear. Yeah, the price range varies. Everybody's going to price a little differently based on what they can bring to the table and what they think their time's worth. My approach has been to make sure there's value for the employer. So I tried to calibrate our price, not just on what I think we're worth, but also what I think we can do. So if it's kill an Astor house, I do know some people that'll charge 5-10 billion to try to do that. And they can probably get some people to agree to it. But to me, it doesn't make sense to charge more than the target would need to do to replace it. So I kind of cap our prices around that in ways that make sense, so it's efficient for the clients to hire us. You could just burn 2 billion ISK if you're going to spend 2 to kill something that's worth 2.
Sure.
I would say we'll do it for 1 or 1.5, that kind of thing. And then for time-based jobs, I try to have a rough idea in my head of how much damage we can do in a given week. And then I'll try to do like a 50, 75, 80%, depending on how fun or challenging the job looks off of that number. So if
It's
we're
really a combo of
doing,
time and what you do then, right? It's
yeah.
kind of a combo of the two. Okay.
So let's say hypothetically we could do 100 billion worth of damage in a week. And we've done that the last 2 or 3 contracts. So I'm pretty confident that number is solid. And this job looks like a lot of fun. I really want it. I might say, all right, let's do it for 50. If it looks like it's going to be really challenging, we're probably going to take a lot of losses because we're fighting against guys that are really good, or it's a very risky area. I might ask for 80.
Okay.
So somewhere in there. And that's all negotiable. Sometimes employers will make things easier, like, hey, I will haul and stage all the ships for you ahead of time. You won't have to use your own jump freighters or time. Like, oh, okay. I'll shave some bill off for that. That saves us a lot of time. Makes things easy. The easier it is, usually the cheaper it will be. Easier and fun, cheap. Hard and expensive, costs more.
The Bluetooth
Yeah.
asking, can you kill Russian low-sec or low-sec Russians?
We can certainly try. We do not have much of a Russian time zone, full disclosure. But, if they have any night owls, yeah, sure, we'll get them.
So do you guys, will you supply, will you FC, somebody hires you, will you FC their people or allow them to join your fleets, or do you try to keep everything separate?
No, absolutely. Sometimes people hire us for that specific reason. They want not just our numbers, but the fact that we can FC and we know bushing, advanced tackle tactics, how to manage our E-war. Um, Sometimes they'll want us to be their logistics ships because they've got a lot of DPS, but they don't have guys that are used to doing reps, but they know that they need them for the big fight. They just have to tell us what they need ahead of time, and we're usually able to accommodate it.
Drayden, did you hear that? He could help you with Logi.
Shh. It's like the one thing I know how to do.
I don't know. You know how to
Hey,
do. You know how to hit people. You well, my last kill, Mail. You.
I also know how to lose
I-
ropes over and over, apparently.
I do have a question for you, Alec. Coming from Alex. What
No
behind
confusion there whatsoever.
you? What you got in the tank there?
That
Kinda-
is the corporation mascot, bearded dragon, Scampy.
Nice.
Oh, Scampy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, my webcam's not going to pick her up because her light's too bright. But she's super cute. She made her way onto a T-shirt for us at one point.
Nice.
I got her during COVID because our apartment wouldn't let us have pets. But lizards don't count for landlords, so. Oh, did you want me to get a fish with a big thing of water that could potentially leak into your apartment? Or would you rather me get this land lizard that's super dry? It was an easy combo. So he became our emotional support dragon. Got us through the pandemic.
How big do they
love
get?
She's when I got her, she was maybe the size of my palm, could fit her whole bod in there. And now she is about 1.5 feet, 18 inches, something like that. Most of it's tail. Her actual body's not super big. It's just a little bit bigger than my hand, plus her head, her little head.
Cool.
And the rest of that is tail. She's got a super long, cute tail.
So your ass does Pharaoh? I'm saying it right or not? Still fly with you?
Anytime Farrell comes back to the game, he usually makes a pit stop in Noir before he quits again, but I haven't seen him in quite some time, unfortunately. He used to run the Less Than 10 podcast. Speaking of great podcasts that aren't around anymore, he had a fantastic community going that still, I think the community's still around, but they don't really do a show anymore as far as I know.
What was the name of it again?
Less Than 10?
I never checked that one out. Damn it.
As the name implied, they only talked about less than 10 people in fleet PvP meta. That was the whole show.
Oh, see, my mind went to -10 security status.
There's layers. They mostly did nullsec actually, so I bet Farrell's security status is looking really good right now.
I do things to make sure mine stays negative.
Oh.
Definitely way more fun that way.
It is. I like it. It's fun. It's challenging. I can't go to nullsec or highsec anymore. I enjoy that.
Who needs high sec?
Who needs
Fuck this guy.
highsec? Fuck,
That's what
fuck
Hawks is for.
goddamn stations. Fuck Jita.
Isn't that where our ships come from? Everyone. Well, no. I think a lot of the ships come from null production, but
I've spouted that
Probably not most, though.
and shouldn't be able to dock in highsec forever. For the longest time. I'm so glad they finally did that. It made no sense why criminals could dock. Oh, you're a criminal, and he dock up. Oh, where'd he go? I mean, fuck off. Come on. Scary highsec, exactly right.
Yep.
Lucas.
Scariest space in the game
I
is
hate
high
going
sec.
through high sec.
Now that we have Barbarogas, yeah, man, it's terrifying. They have no natural predators in there.
None.
No, that's the Lashak.
yeah, it's the new Marauder.
Yeah, new Marauder.
Yeah, think about it. High sec, no cap ships. That thing's like strapping a nuclear weapon to your bicycle.
I don't know. I feel like the numbers can't be true because I've heard people toting out that it has like you could get like 12,000 DPS in a fully spooled Barbaroga and shit, and that's not even with officer fits or anything like that. I was like, that's like more than 2 dreadnoughts in Siege. I highly doubt it. I can't imagine them. I mean, Marauders do a bunch of damage, but I can't imagine even fully spooled, because fully spooled is 150% damage. I mean, unless
You
it just
can get
is
that
way.
higher with implants, and I'm sure there's abyssal rolls that might help, but that does
but
sound
there
like
was
a lot.
someone was saying that it gets that high with Tech 2 mods, and I'm like, I'm calling bullshit on that. That sounds like some massive hyperbole, but
What is the
Yeah,
what's the
that
max
doesn't
ramp
seem
up?
right.
it's 150% damage
Ma-
at max ramp.
Okay.
Because doesn't it ramp like 5% each time 10 times or 10% for 5 times? I can't remember.
That's something like that.
Yeah,
So
I think it
but it's
ramps up to
150%, right?
Yeah, and then the Bastion module makes your guns. I think it's like a 50% bonus on rate of fire, so that ramps your damage up too. That'll make you spool up faster, but it also just increases your DPS because you're shooting twice as fast. It also ups your rep power, and
Does it spool up over time or per shot?
it's per shot.
shot.
So every time it cycles, which
As soon
is
as you
why
miss,
when you
it
yeah, which is why
resets.
when you go in Bastion, you spool up twice as fast because you shoot twice as fast. So, but I was like 12k DPS sounds far fetched to me.
Hawkeye's got
yeah.
the secret sauce there. The C6 Magnetar wormholes give a
Oh,
massive damage
okay.
bonus.
Okay, well that's extenuating circumstances. And I was thinking that people were just saying like just flat out that's what it was doing. I'm like, there's no way. That's like 2.5 dreads in Siege. There's no fucking way that a battleship is doing that.
12,000.
But I mean, they are the highest damage subcap though, by far.
And the most expensive subcap, right?
Like what are they? I mean, not even.
At least for now.
What are the
Does anybody
holes?
know
The
what they're
holes are
going
like.
for
I think
right
the
now?
holes are like going for like 5 or 6 bill. I think maybe 8, somewhere in that 5 to 8 billion for a hole, I believe. And then, I mean,
So the Marshal's still more expensive then.
if you're buying, but I mean, if you're buying a ship that expensive, you shouldn't Tech 2 fit it. Like you should be faction fitting it at least.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
that's
Metafit.
I mean, it's like why would you stop there? It's like if you're gonna buy a battleship for like 6 to 8 billion or something like that, you might as well throw 4 or 5 billion in mods onto it too. So
Nerdy Neanderthal says 7k DPS with a reasonable fit.
that's
still a lot.
high. That's more than a dread, isn't it? I mean, a dread.
That's
a dread
2
is
Haw dreads.
yeah.
That's 2 Haws.
I think a dread in Siege. Well, maybe the Navy dreads in Siege are like about 5k, give or take, depending on how you have it fit and stuff. But I mean, obviously you can go up higher and lower than that. But I think
Well, if you're not breaking the bank on your cap fits,
Right.
almost 2 dreadnoughts, which again, subcap tracking.
Yeah, Siege mode, Tech 2 guns, with Haw fit, you'd probably be pushing 5k, 5 to 6 in Siege. So yeah, 7k is.
What kind of range are they getting at that? Do you even know? Or is it Nerdy? Do you know?
I mean, you don't get a range bonus on Bastion, so it's whatever the. I've never flown a Lashak actually, so I don't know what the large entropic disintegrators are range.
For the high damage ammo that'll get you the like crazy 7k damage number, it's not going to be very far. Sub 20 for sure.
Yeah, what is that? That's not Meson. It's
A cult.
A cult. That's right. There's like a cult. What's the other Tech 2 one? It's starts with an M.
Mystic.
Mystic. Yeah.
And then if you want a decent mix of range and damage, that's Baryon, which is probably what you would be using most of the time against non-battleships in that thing.
Yeah, and Hawkeye saying so Meson's the long range one. He's saying about 130k. That's far, but you're probably only probably doing a couple 2,000 DPS in that range.
The stack with occult is about 24k. With the occult,
That's not bad though.
That's no range.
Yeah, and that's optimal. Fall off is probably another 20 past that or something, I'm guessing.
Oh, optimal.
No fall off on trig
24.
guns. It's
that's
optimally
right.
bust on those things.
That's right. They're busted.
37 kilometer range with a Colt.
Well, that's interesting because when it's in Bastion, it can't move. So you have an option that you don't always have against trig ship, which is to fade in and out of its range. As long as it doesn't have friends, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one can't. No, I'm thinking the dread. The dread can move in Siege on this one, on the new ships, but the Sarathiel.
Well, no, it can micro
it can micro jump drive, but you only get 10% move speed when in Siege, so you're only going to go probably 10 to 20 meters per second. But that basically allows you to aim in a direction.
Well,
and micro jump or capital jump while in.
Like, I'm glad they
Siege.
thought of that, but I think it would have been more funny to just release it without, so you can micro jump in whatever random ass direction you're pointing.
I mean, you can still bump them. I mean, that's definitely a tactic. You bump someone and then you go blasting off some other direction. But
are they bumpable? when they're in
Yeah, you can bump them in
siege.
siege.
When they're sieged?
Yeah, you just
Oh, yeah.
you normally just can't move, but you can still get bumped and moved. I mean, that's why when people siege, like they all jump in their caps and they all land on the same spot, and then they start bouncing, they siege, and they just go flying off while sieged. So there's a whole form up here. Nothing's really happening though. They're just, you know what? We're winning the ISK war. Look at how many warp disruption probes they're launching. Each one of those is like 500,000 ISK.
They're expensive. Yeah, I mean that's probably breaking it.
It adds up.
I don't think they're that much.
It
But
adds up.
we're winning the ISK war by just not jumping in. Except it looks like a few people have battle. Who's going in here in a battle cruiser?
You guys. Yeah,
Fucking-
get them.
Fucking elite cruiser wreck. That's a slice. That's on you guys, Skyhawk. You got slice.
So the Zenitra will do almost 12,000 DPS.
Well, as long as my corp ticker's not on there, I don't care.
I'm guessing that was a Serb since it's wreck of, unless the player's name is Ham Cerberus, but
Ooh, I think it's a
never
Skyhawk,
know.
isn't it?
I have not died today.
Because you just got there.
Right. Exactly.
Do we have any more questions for Alex? Or Alex, sorry.
yeah. Well, no, it says the wreck of. It says wreck. It's a battle cruiser, but
Does Skyhawks wreck? I know.
no, it's an elite cruiser wreck. But I think the guy's name is Ham Cerberus. But it's I mean, it could be.
Those characters.
What contract have you taken that was the most interesting or that you guys had the most fun with?
Ooh. I mean, the all-time one that I mentioned a whole bunch is Providence around 2010, I think it was. The AAA invasion. That was by far the most fun. I can't imagine we'll have more fun on any contract. It was so target rich. We had half of Providence to ourselves to kill, and AAA and their fleets were going to take the other half. And we just, I mean, back in those days, especially with people running away from the invasion or pretending that it wasn't happening, you couldn't go 2 jumps without smacking yourself into a hauler or a mining fleet or someone trying and failing to do a system defense.
Back in the day when Pravi had high population density, it was a lot of fun.
And
I
who
wasn't
was that
there
against?
quite back then, but I was in Pravi a few years later.
Alec, what year was that? Your Pravi thing?
2010. So CVA were the primary residents. There were a few other alliances that were their residents. I think they called
Evoke would
them.
have been there.
Pravi block.
Yeah, Pravi Block. Was Evoke there at the time? I'm not
They
even
were
sure.
in KVP because we kicked them out.
Oh, then yeah. Yeah. We were on the R3 side, and we just we went ham on it. And at one point, I paired up with Nitty Masters, who's in Horde now, and we went duo. I was in a curse or something. I forget what he was in, an Inti or something like that. We went 2 hours to go 2 jumps. Because every time we would go to one, we'd kill something, and then he would have a rear scout that'd be like, hey, we need to get back to the gate because there's something else coming. We just kept doing that. And we were trying to do like a roam. We couldn't get anywhere because we just had to keep killing stuff. Or we had to backtrack to get something that was coming behind us. And that happened over and over and over again for hours on end. And that was the best. Since the relaunch, I would say our Omist contract, which we took in the winter of last year, that was awesome. We didn't win, so not a great result for the employers, but it was the most fun. It was super interesting, very challenging. It felt like every major fight, like there were a bunch of Fortizar fights back and forth, defensive and offensive. They would just trade reinforcement timers over and over and over again. We would come up with a tactic to counter the last thing those guys did, and it would almost win the fight. And then the next time out, they would come up with something to counter the thing that we tried to do to counter them, and then rinse and repeat over and over again. And we were just going crazy on Pyfa, trying to figure out new fits and new ideas of how to get around the increasingly lopsided numbers advantage that that our targets had compared to the guys that hired us.
I think that's
And
when
it was great.
stuff like that. I think is when conflicts in game are the most fun when you're against an opponent that you have to like constantly be adjusting, and you're adjusting to each other.
Oh yeah, I'd never been in anything quite like it. It was almost like we were having a conversation with each other between the fitting teams and the FCs without actually talking to each other once. And it was cool because almost is all the way at the edge of the universe. It's about as far away from Empire space as you can physically be. So there was like no snuffs or goon drops. I mean, actually, goons did turn up a couple times, but it wasn't like a constant threat. So, people could bring out battleship fleets. They could bring out the occasional cap ship at a small scale in nullsec without having to worry about getting, dropped and smoked. It was really two very small nullsec coalitions going head to head without any big proxy backer for most of it. I think Goons picked a side kind of toward the end there, which helped accelerate our clients losing. But for a good long while there, it was a pretty straight up fight. And that was a rare wonder to see. And it was one of the more fun opportunities I've had to do long term PvP.
It's a good example of where jump fatigue actually benefits, a section of the game, right? Because you guys were able to do that because jump fatigue is a thing. You didn't have to worry about people
Sure.
just, willy nilly coming across the universe. So there you go.
Right.
Jump fatigue does work. Bam.
If anything, and this is going to be a hot take, I think jump fatigue should be worse. The fact that it's capped at 30 minutes.
Yeah, but 30 minutes per jump, and if you think about how far you can go to jump, I mean, it allows you to somewhat quickly deploy to your area. But I mean, if you want to go from venal
Not across
to
the universe.
if you want to go to from venal to
Delve.
delve, it's like that's going to take you a couple hours at least, which I think makes sense because
Yeah.
I think it's a healthy
I'll-
spot where it's at.
I mean, you don't want to tweak it up too hard. I mean, when jump fatigue first came out, that was atrocious. People wouldn't pay attention. They're like, I have like a week and a half red timer and a 1 month blue timer. It's like, yeah, fuck that.
I remember when I first trained into a Blops and I started using that for like some logistics stuff or just, bridging small little haulers. First time I used it, ended up hitting the max amount of blue timer back then, which was like the full 28 days.
Yeah.
And that sucked. And I just did it without even realizing because I was new to that ship, didn't understand the mechanic fully, and got hit with it in the face.
Yeah, I mean, there was growing pains. They eventually, they shifted it down. Then they also added the haulers and freighters and stuff would have a 90% reduction on it, which helped a lot.
I would take a 50% increase in maximum red timer in exchange for a 25% increase in jump range.
Oh. See,
I would accept that.
Yeah, I
changing
can
the
be on
jump
board
ranges
with.
though, like
I could
that
agree.
would be interesting. That would shake
I
things
can
up.
be on
But
board
like,
with
man,
that.
but just I as long as I've played the game, jump ranges haven't really increased.
Yeah, they haven't messed, but the game's gotten bigger, and the whole dynamic of how players use jump drives and how much we rely on them for the modern,
I mean, it would definitely
older
change.
fan base content. Like,
I mean, like midpoints
Well,
and
it's never-
strategic like stagings for capital, like all that would change, and that would be pretty crazy. But
it would mean fewer choke points, but it would also mean you could get
I
to
bet-
content quicker, but you probably wouldn't be able to get back. So it would give you that opportunity cost of, sure, you can go to this fun fight, but if someone takes the opportunity to punch you in the face behind the lines or like stab you in the back, it's a little more costly. You can't react quite as quickly, and you can't do super long trips nearly as easily. I think it's worth talking about, but CCP's got a lot of other priorities on their plate. I don't think messing with jump range is going to come up anytime soon.
No, but at least it's not the kind of change that would take a lot of dev time to make if they were able to be convinced.
True. Break
It's
the
just-
game, let players, figure out the new routes and everything and see how it looks.
I think it's good for the snow globe to get a good shaking every once in a while.
bring back the grid food. I hated the grid food. Like I don't want that back.
Ooh, delete asset safety.
I would also
man.
disagree with that. I like the fact of asset safety because if people have to step away from the game, they don't just lose everything because they left their shit in a stage. I mean, you should move your stuff out if you're going to go AFK, but I mean, I would be okay with them increasing the cost to get asset safety out, increase the percent rate. So it's a little bit more of a penalty because a lot of people are just like, fuck it, all this asset safety. It's like it should be like well, you didn't lose it, but it's going to cost you, and it should. I think I would be okay with it costing a little bit more.
So I've got a friend of mine who's recently come back to the game, and he had left stuff in a Fortizar in Tashmerk on HiSec that no longer exists, so it went into asset safety, and he's looking at an 80 billion ISK payment that he has to make to CCP to get stuff out, and a lot of what it is actually stuff that doesn't have any market like history in that region. So I have questions about like how CCP's math is actually calculating on the back end and what default value it's going to if there's not enough market data. Because like I was looking through his stuff and I'm like, this does not make sense for this to be
I wonder if
80
they
billion
go on
just to get it out.
I wonder if they go on a G to average. I would bet because there's a lot of times because then you'll have modules where like people just aren't selling that module in a region and the value will be at because there's times you'll put a module on the market at like 1.5 million, but if no one's selling that module in that region for a month, it'll be like this module's at like 899,000% value. It's like it's not because it thinks it's worth one ISK or something. So
yeah, and for a lot of things, CCP uses regional data, but some things they do use like global average.
I don't know how it's calculated,
I'm not
but
positive on what they're using here.
I'm pretty confident that kill mails and asset safety don't go off region.
I want to say they're probably game wide because also asset safety can transverse across regions, so that would make sense. Like at that point, like what would you use it? The region it came from or the region it's going to?
I mean, told him to put in a ticket with CCP and it because I thought it was a little outrageously high. Because
there is an asset safety issue which always irked me, even from when they were first injected into the game. Titans, the ultimate end-game ship, but you can't attack it if the player is offline. I always felt like that should be a thing. You should have Titan mooring, and it was kind of done by giving them a place to dock with keep stars, but they can get asset safety. So
yeah, which is weird because then they go in a station that they. I mean, it's dangerous though because if you undock it, you can't dock back up if it goes to an NPC station. So
no, true, but I would love to be able to just permanently destroy them in some way where you can't. You can build your big Titan fleet, but you can't keep it totally inaccessible from other players that want to try to destroy them.
I would actually be on board with Nerdy Neanderthals recommendation where it's like you have a % chance, like when stuff gets asset safety, there's a chance that some of it's going to drop as loot. So you don't lose everything, but you lose some. That I would get behind that.
I'd go with that.
Yeah, I could too. Pleased to meet me. Excellent.
Oh shit, we got a Titan out here just out by itself. Hold on. Oh no, there's a fort here. Never mind.
I guarantee somewhere.
I saw like there's two Titans. I didn't see the fort. It was that icon was buried in the fleet, so I was like, wait, hold on a sec. I mean,
Bluetooth. That's what we get paid to do. We're armchair fucking superstars.
Oh yeah,
straight.
I mean, everything we say is stupid, but what do you do?
Do we need to have a horde bake sale to hire Noir to help? What's going on?
A bake sale? Hell yeah.
Bean cupcakes. 1 billion ISK per.
We'll sell feet pics to hire Noir.
tasty. Feet pics.
Shoot, feet pics are on the table. You don't need to sell them. Just give them direct.
You heard it here. Noir works for feet pics. What is wrong?
Only if they're 2D though.
How deep do they have to be?
What's like an infinite zero value?
I heard something different.
I didn't realize.
You're thinking of 3D, the Devil's Dimension.
Yeah, 3D's bullshit. No one likes 3D. Growing up, I hated 3D movies because I couldn't see them. Right? Colorblind, 3D didn't work for me. It was fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh, no shit.
because you can't see the
Somehow I
reds.
didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm very colorblind.
I never even thought about that.
It's different technology now. They do work because it's not the red, green.
It's
the
like
red,
reds,
blue
greens.
glasses. But now they're just.
browns,
I don't know how
yellows.
they make it now. It's a different technology because they're clear glasses and it works.
They're actually broadcasting 2 images, and I think it's something to do with like how the lenses are polarized,
They're
basically.
shooting that shit right into your brain, aren't they? I tell you what. I get the government involved. I guarantee it.
What's that? That
Fucking shooting images right in your brain.
that
fuckers.
meme that
Yes,
meme
they
from
are.
The Office where it's just like, are they blues or are they reds on grid? They're the same picture. It's like the fucking
Polarized light. There you go. So
I don't know
they've
what
got
they're
no.
doing.
So they have no defense at all. Zero defense.
Well, you can't resist. That's why.
Can't resist. Yeah, they can't resist them. There you go. Ah, you got it. All right. Excellent. Should we start
this
talking?
is-
Should we talk about your guys getting your ass kicked war thing? Or no?
I was wondering. I was like, what are all these fleets waiting for? This Keepstar doesn't come out for like 3 days, but
Fort?
it's this fort. This fort comes out in 20 minutes.
Ah,
Spicy. How's tie-dye over there?
No tie dye, but that's because there's only goons here. I'm sure if a fight happens and PanFam starts jumping in, that will change drastically. Yeah, it'll be an armor timer. But so far it's just goons. They got, I mean, they'll bring more if a fight happens, but they got Raven. They've been using the Raven navies. The Navy
It's good shit.
Ravens.
The Navy
Or
Ravens.
Ravy Navens.
Ravy Navens. That's what Asher calls them now too.
oh, back when I was in Wrecking Crew, they're fun.
Yeah. So I've noticed goons have been using the Navy Ravens and Bargus quite a bit. So a lot of faction battleships. And then Ferox Navy's very popular, both sides. Same with Vultures have become a flavor. Pretty much just a tankier Ferox Navy, essentially. And now with the
That's
surgical,
interesting.
well, with the surgical strike change being reverted, they're way chonkier. So DPS is down from ships, but tank modules, well, resistance modules basically got buffed, and so the Vulture just is.
It does decent damage and it's tanky.
It's basically a tankier Ferox Navy. So
I would think at the scale you guys usually fight at, it wouldn't matter how tanky it was because you'd be able to get enough alpha either way.
Well, that's the problem.
generally,
Though. We're going to fight against somebody who's the same size. So if you can alpha them, they can alpha you. You try to mitigate that.
Both
as much as you
sides.
can.
I've noticed that both sides can do the alpha. A lot of the fights that I've seen that we've lost. So like Horde's using rogues a lot. A lot of times because goons or Imperium will bring Hodreds and slap those on field like Zerns and Phoenix Navies the other night, but I'm assuming those are the two they're bringing. And they can basically just chew through any reps that you put on, so they will eat through Rokes, and there hasn't really been any counter drops for those dreads. So they just get free fire and get to chew through. And the Rokes will alpha the Horde stuff, but they generally aren't reaching out to the Navy Ravens or the Barghest, so they're basically trading Rokes for Ferox Navies, which is never a good trade.
Shocking they're
No,
getting
it's not
outranged. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you get some. Well, and the Rokes could shoot out far enough, but those faction battleships might be tanky enough that they might not get alphaed, and then reps might actually save them. But the
yeah.
reps don't save you, even if you broadcast immediately. They don't save a Roke from dreads, like, at all. I got hit the other night. It's like, I swear, because Ultrari Phoenix was running the dreads. There was like a dozen. There's like 6 to 8 Zerns and like 5 or 6 Phoenix Navies. And Ultra Phoenix hates PL. And so, because it was a horde fleet. It was me, and there was 2 other PL dudes. And the other fleet lost a bunch, but our fleet, I think we only lost like 15 Rokes. 2 of them were mine, 2 of them were the other PL dude, and one of them was the other. So it's like 5 of the like basically a third of the Roke losses in our fleet were like 3 PL guys. So I think Ultra Phoenix was just like, yeah, shoot that guy. He was just ticker firing, basically, just like PL, shoot him. Oh, he's back, PL, shoot him. Yeah. So it's like fuck. And there's no amount of reps that's gonna save you from that many.
What is the range on your Rokes? Approximately, what do you guys get?
I mean,
yes, 200.
I mean, maybe with Spike.
Oh, if you're not hitting 200 in a Roke, I don't know what
I mean, you could probably hit 200 with Spike, but that's not going to be. You're probably not going to alpha faction battleships with Spike, unless you have like
the Navy Ravens can hit out like 230. So that's why you're not killing the Navy Ravens. You're
just not going to have the alpha damage. So you're basically stuck. That's why you're stuck shooting the Ferox Navies and the Vultures. So you can kill them, but the value is not there. So
the Ravens at 220 are going to do the same damage that they would do at 50. Because it's missiles.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed that goons will have bomber wings. And I don't really see bomber wings on our side, which is like, where's our bombers? They have shield battleships.
We don't kill anything with our bombers, but we have them.
They do some stuff. I mean,
there's a 30% chance we're going to kill our own people.
They miss a lot. I thought I actually took a bombing run the other because I saw bombs coming and it looked like they were coming right at me, and then my shields disappeared. I was like, I guess I'll because I'm like, oh, don't broadcast for bomb damage. But then like my shields got to like a third. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna broadcast, and then I got a little bit of reps, and then I just instantly died. I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked at the kill bill. I didn't get hit by bombs at all. It was just all dreads. They were just shooting me. I was like, oh, okay. Whoops.
And you were right to broadcast. I mean, they were
well, I should have broadcast earlier. But then the other time I came back at another one, and I broadcast at 100% shields when I was getting yellow boxed, and it didn't matter. Like, because the Zerns will knock you down to like quarter shields, and then you get a little bit of reps, and then the Phoenix missiles hit you, and then like that you just get one volleyed. So.
And the Zerns are ridiculous, right? I mean,
yeah, the Zerns didn't even get 2 shots. It was just like the Zerns initial shot, and then the Phoenix Navy follow up torps. Just
great DPS and great alpha. I love the Zerns.
I mean, when you have that many, and like also shield battleship with like 5 Phoenix Navy target paints on you, you're basically the size of a capital ship. So. But yeah, I don't know.
The Phoenix Painter bonus. That was a very neat concept.
Like, I don't know if you're gonna kill Bargas and Navy Ravens with bombs, but I mean, if you have enough bombing wings, because every time I see them, they're not even moving. They're just sitting still in a giant blob. It's like, if you launched a bunch of bombs there, like you might kill some, or you might cause a bunch of havoc.
We have excellent bombing squads at Nor.
Oh, multiple ones who operate at the same time.
Get goblins on the phone. Hire Noir. We need the bombs.
Really anyone with money can do it. It doesn't have to be goblins. We'll just, not launch them at Horde. It's possible. So multiple squads. We have at one time done the infamous daisy cutter, where you have 8 bombers on either side of a single target and you launch. So there's a little Venn diagram. We did it one time. I've never had enough people to do that twice.
Twice, yeah. Unfortunately, the time we did that, like fun and successfully, was actually under Sword Dragon. He was when he FC'd before he became leadership. He was really good at FCing bomber, like multiple 5-man or 5-ship wings of bomber fleets. He was good at organizing them and doing at the daisy cutter thing, just timing it perfectly where the bombs weren't affecting each other. Right, you just bam, bam, bam. It was. But he's the only one that I've ever flown with that was really good at it. I know people claim to be, but he was actually good at it.
It's really hard because your bombers can't see each other, so you have to be able to figure it out. You can do it one of 2 ways. There's like the true daisy cutter way, which is they're approaching from opposite sides,
directions,
and they launch at the same time. Or you could do kind of a wave where you launch one and then you wait till just before the first wave explodes, then you launch your second one. That one's not as good because it gives them more opportunities to leave. Yeah. It's also a little hard on the timing, but
the key with both those situations, not only do you have to have an FC that knows what they're doing and can lead that, you need pilots that will listen and do as
Yeah,
that's a situation you don't want somebody to have
always
a lot
warped
of
cloaked.
Yeah.
Always warped cloaked. It's like you always get that one dude. Like you're like, all right, we're gonna do our bomb run. Warp here. Make sure you're cloaked, and then one dude just warps in uncloaked and just fucks everything up. But
Well, like you
Hale
can't
just said it. You have to have
anchor
people know what they're
because
doing.
everybody's cloaked. You're not necessarily aligning to something because there might not be a celestial object behind the target you're trying to approach. So you've got guys that are cloaked, especially if you have to work this out on the fly with a hostile fleet that's moving around. You've got to manually pilot your ship to aim in the correct spot, and you have to have 6 guys doing this at the same time, such that the 6 or 7 or 8.
Okay.
I mean, ideally you do 8. They all have to do this at the same time so that their weapons will all land within the same 15-kilometer sphere without being able to see where everyone else in the fleet is, and also not get decloaked by wrecks, enemy frigates,
Each other.
Dictor bubbles, whatever. It's mental to try to do when you think about it.
I get that it's I mean, I've done some bombing fleets, not like run them, but been in one, and it does require a lot of attention. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm in a coalition and alliance the size of Horde and PanFam. You gotta have at least. I know there's a couple dozen people that know how to do bombs, and
But usually the people who know how to do that stuff don't want to. They want to do, they want to fight bigger stuff. It's
but
hard
if
to
you
get people
kill
who are
stuff,
good at it.
it's like if you get a good bombing run, it's like, oh shit, we just got you get like 40 Navy Raven kill nails, like. But I don't know. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, in a big war like this, it's not necessarily. It's not always about what you want to do. It's like, hey, there's functions and roles that need to be filled, and if you can do one of those, you should be doing that. Like, not everyone likes to fly Logi, but hey, if your fleet needs Logi pilots, you should swap to a Logi if you can. Stuff like that. Lynx ships are important. Cackle's important. Dictor. I mean.
Actually, we're talking like it's practically impossible. But in practicality, it is almost impossible. I mean, these groups, it is hard to find 16 guys who will listen completely to bomber instructions. I'm sorry. You have 300 people in your fleet. You'd be lucky to have 10 people paying attention.
Yeah, I mean,
I think for our Daisy Cutter success, it was almost like a pipe bomb situation. We had a bubble. There was a can. We all had a target point. We knew where the other squad was because we didn't move. We knew where the target was going to land at. When they landed, we fired. That's like the relatively simple version. To do that in an actual fight where the fleets are not static and where you might be coming in from different warp-in points, it's not impossible, but man, if you don't have respect for the skill to be able to do that correctly, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, and any one little mistake ruins it, right? It doesn't take much to throw that off or make it not effective. And then you have to add on top of that, defender missiles now.
Which we used in Ohms, by the way. That was one of the evolutions, tying this back to something we were talking about earlier. Bombs became such a huge part of the fights at one point that we stopped putting our guys in bombers and put our guys in destroyers instead so we could bomb the attempts to kill our blues, because for whatever reason they were dying in droves to bomb runs. So we're like, all right, they're clearly more effective against us than working for us, so let's take this weapon out of their hands. Like, all right, so we've got destroyers doing this. What else can they do? Like, all right, well, we'll put some E-War in the mid slots and some anti-frigate missile launchers. And all right, this is the fit. And we go out and, yeah, they were great. They kept the fleet alive.
I think Hawkeye figured out how to do it. It's not that hard. Just hire Noir.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your guys having to do it. Hire them. They'll do it.
I always say we're not the best PvPers in the game, but we are the best you can afford.
Are you saying we're poor? I thought Asher said goons were poor. And that was in the SOTG. It's like, hey guys, we're poor. It's time for war. And then it's like, oh, we're poor. Let's go to war though anyway. And then they come out in faction battleships. Like, you guys aren't poor. The fuck is this?
Well, the players
that's
aren't
Delve poor. That's Delph-4.
That's Delph-4.
Poor area.
Yeah. Oh no, this is like Skyhawk is like Delph-4. It's like, oh no, I dipped under a trillion ISK. Dang.
I wanted to
I
smack. I
feel
wanted to
bad.
smack him when he said that the first time. Like, oh no, I'm under a trillion ISK. I'm like,
I'm sitting here. I
"Oh,
lost
fucking
2 rogues
first
the other
world
night. And I'm
problem,
like,
you fucker."
I like look at my wallet. My wallet went from like 3 billion to like 1.5 billion. I'm like, oh fuck, this isn't. I need to do some ratting. I'm fucking poor.
I was
Lost
just thinking earlier,
half my
I'm
ISK in
gonna,
one night.
I'm gonna actually need to send some ISK to my main from my money bags tune.
Yeah, his name
You
is
bought shit.
Drayden Trovier. He needs it.
You also need
Just
to
send
send
it,
some ISK to me, buddy.
Dominarch. Well, I will be your broker. Yeah, I can handle. I'll be the middleman for you. Just send it to me, and I'll
I
send
will-
it to the people who need it.
I will whisper sweet nothings in your ear all night long.
I'd get
You know
that
what?
done
I'll,
for free
I'll
already.
let you sleep in my bed. How's that?
Is that
There you go.
RMT?
Well, yeah.
Just get that
Oh,
RMD. Am I right?
Real man training.
RMD, there you
Real
go.
man training.
I'll go see if those ice cubes are.
It's funny. Are they big? Ones, if they're big, they take fucking forever. I get that, like the big, huge,
They
like
do.
they're square, like perfectly square. But they're big and they fucking take forever to make. Cause I was pissed last Friday. I was gonna have rum and like, oh, I don't have ice cubes. I'll throw them in like 3 hours before the fucking show, and they still weren't done by the time the show started.
I mean, it's not the perfect shape for certain beverages like that, but that's why I really like having a countertop ice maker. Like, I just don't even have to think about it.
Alright,
It's
so
just
they
Sister
did-
has one of those.
ice.
I like that kind of ice though. The little pellets.
Yeah.
They didn't come out
Yeah.
in like the spheres. They actually came out in like unfinished Death Stars. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I'm dripping on my keyboard stuff. Like,
I think this might be a user error.
ridge in the middle.
I mean, they mostly look good, like a little acorn or something.
Why are they
Yeah.
hollow? What the,
It's not
Hey, Mac-
hollow.
Mac,
It's-
you can't confirm that. I am very.
It's ice. It's I don't know. But it's like it's got a
Nice,
little ridge
baby.
on the middle. That's kind of cool.
Aren't you the CEO of water? How can't you figure out ice?
Hey, we don't freeze it. Actually, no, we have ice makers.
Oh,
too.
yeah, I was gonna say you guys are just starting new.
Yeah, we're doing the big ice stuff now.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
All right.
Getting
Yeah,
into
if you
the
didn't know,
ice business.
Drayden is the vice
Yeah.
president of water in the north
Oh no, I have them raw.
north of America. Yeah.
Vice president of water, like generally.
Oh,
Yeah,
Which is water, yeah.
just yeah.
Break ties in the water senate. You're
Big
around in
Pearl.
case the water president goes down.
Yeah, VP
What was the
H2O,
Rick and Morty water guy? What did I say?
the Lord of
Water
Water.
tea. Mr. Nimbus.
Yes.
Ice
uh,
Mine.
Drayden went down to Florida.
He
to
doesn't
meet
control
Mr.
water.
Nimbus.
He controls the police.
Yeah,
And
oh,
water and police.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah, you go to
He
Florida.
controls the police.
Florida for a convention, a water convention.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm a big fan of water, so you're doing a great job.
Sometimes the
Hydrate,
shit breaks
bro.
down.
Just ignore all the PFAS though. That's fine.
In the
If you had a
winter.
bunch of
As
little-
in the local
little
area is
pieces of plastic in
exactly
your brain,
why
though.
I carry around my, and it keeps my,
Yeah, you
half
gotta watch out
gallon
for that.
bottle of water.
You gotta watch out for that Flint water.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that really water
Yeah.
though? I mean, when it's
Mm,
when the parts per
It's-
million
it's
are more than the
honestly-
water. That's the thing. It is.
the sad truth of things with like the whole Flint thing here in Michigan, there's other cities in Michigan that have worse water than what Flint's was testing at that just didn't.
I
get
wouldn't
to the
drink it.
fridge. Like I said, there's a reason why I've got a countertop reverse osmosis set up in my apartment.
Yeah, I was talking with that Mr. Grady guy in FanFest. He was, I remember meeting him in Vegas, but he was over in Turkey for work, and he was like, he had to get like a fridge thing, and he was asking me about water filtration. And I was like, he had one of those like zero water things. So I was like, that's deionized water, which is fine. That's actually pretty good.
Oh, he was at FanFest this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because he was saying that the PFAS over in Turkey is basically like the U.S. would call it non-potable, but over there they have less restrictions. But he's like the PFAS in the water over there are like to a level where it's actually like health hazard. Like,
Well,
pretty bad.
Skittles and Mountain Dew are now labeled as not recommended for human consumption.
They're so good though.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's
They're
about right.
great. I love
they
both those things.
Yeah, one's a hard candy,
I
one's a
wouldn't
liquid
recommend
candy.
it.
Not recommended
can
for
do
humans.
it.
Oh, I do. I'm still gonna. I consume all kinds of things I shouldn't, but yeah.
Anyway, hold on. We've gone off track. Where were we?
War.
War.
Or, well,
It never
we
changes.
were talking about the war, and then my internet dropped out, which is why I disappeared, but came back.
we're
The
waiting
fecal
on-
concentration of
Well,
water, which brought us back to Insmother.
In's water.
Things, mother.
Where's that fort? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pearl's not wrong. None of us can run for office.
Brutus
ever.
card. Wait, this isn't your alt, is it?
No.
Oh yeah, it's 1R and 2 Ds. You should This guy's gunning
Why
for
are
your
you
idea.
There is
shooting
like
me?
an Alex card 1D out there, and there's an Acer card properly spelled, none of which are related to me.
Oh man, Ecal 4D's corpse is over there. I can go get that.
Yeah, that's what I would do in an active shooting fight.
It's not active yet. 1.5 minutes. No blues on field.
Oh, the fort.
Yeah, for the fort. No form up on the keep.
Is there another keep somewhere else then? It's coming out.
So is this something like it's going to get blown up? I haven't been paying enough.
No, this is
attention.
an armor timer, but it'll probably be uncontested. I doubt it'll be contested, but they're gonna
What about
start.
that? Is that keep in hull or is
The keep will be a kill, but it's just under
That's a
2
couple
days.
days.
It's like 2 days and like 20 hours. So what is that? Like Monday, midday U.S. time zone, I think, roughly. Or actually no. You know what? I could look at the timer and do math.
Can.
that's hard?
Well,
You
that's
could.
so hard.
So
It-
it'll,
that
can,
requires
I don't know if
brain
you
power,
can, but
so.
it can be done. Yeah.
it'll be Monday at about 3:30 my time, or no, 3 o'clock my time.
I
No,
am
4.
actually off
That's
work on
the-
Monday, so I
that's
can
the keep
actually
4
make
o'clock,
that timer.
Monday at 4 o'clock my time, which would be so 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, which would be
I might be home for that.
2100. No, what's 16 plus 7?
This is exactly
20,
why I have
23.
2300 Eve time on Monday. That's when that will be coming out.
That's a great
Open
time.
comms does math.
I'm not going to be able to make it because I have a long day on Monday. I'm not going to probably get home till. Although if it's a big fight, it'll probably still be going on when I get home. I'll be home like probably 2-3 hours after it starts. Which if it's a big tie-dye thing, it'll probably still be going. I imagine that we'll fight over a Keepstar final timer, but I highly
That
doubt
goes
we'll
to
just.
Fleet Warp, huh?
I would hope so.
Yeah, because the timer is pretty much out. They're going to go shoot it now.
Of the Harvey fleet?
No, they have Raven navies. They've got vultures and FNIs. And
Look at that,
harpies.
somebody used the warp.
Yeah, they did the
what's it
wall.
called? Yeah, the wall. There you go. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Ooh, looks beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, one
I
went
love-
tight,
I
and
love
one
the
went
color, dude.
loose. Like one's been practiced at this, and one is like.
I do like their use of the formations fleet warp here.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Well,
formation.
in practical terms, is this to make them less bombable? Because it seems almost impossible to maintain your formation once you land.
Well, you just
I
stay,
kinda
you
gave
just
up on
stay
that.
still.
They don't move.
Yeah, you just don't move and you stay in the formation. I think it's to spread people out, but also keep them all roughly the same distance from the target, so you don't have people at the back 20 kilometers
Purely
further than people in front.
intimidation.
Yeah. Also, it just looks good.
The new T-pose formation.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that
dominance.
they had all this time to, because you can like FC can like save a snapshot of like all the fleet's positions at a certain spot, and the fact they didn't align themselves into a Zor in pure goon fashion and then warp themselves in a Zor formation is a little sad.
Right?
Like,
Are they even trying in this war or what?
I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10 for display.
I only do that for the important objectives. This isn't important.
No, it is important, Dom. What
Port
you
of Czars are now, they're throwaways. Porters are throwaway.
Shut.
Well, you guys, are they important to you guys? What? No, they're cheap.
See if anyone's got any good skins.
Oh, with them all sitting still like that. I was just talking about bombers. That looks very delicious.
Yeah, I mean they are spread out though. Like this is, I mean, if you launched a bomb, now this one's closer together. These guys you
The other one's
more.
close.
Just
Wait.
means you need to take
What
a
are
couple
those?
bites.
These
Oh,
are
You
the
bomb
Raven.
one area and then the next
These are
one.
Raven navies. You got one token bar guest in here.
Probably wouldn't kill him with a single run.
What a
No.
baller, this guy.
Probably wouldn't even kill them with 2 runs. They're probably taking enough. You need 3, but Claymore. I thought
I
someone.
just said about 220,000 effective hit points.
Oh, that's yeah. You might even need 4 bomb runs. Maybe that's why they aren't bombing these things. They just won't die. But
I'm sure there's plenty of
oh, is that Nighthawk?
flycatchers
yeah.
there.
Nighthawks are sick. I like that.
Used to be my favorite
Yeah, I
ship.
love Nighthawk.
We have the Nighthawks too.
Who is this? Jane Soccer Star.
Soccer stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a star.
clearly a soccer star. Yeah.
What do we think about Nighthawks versus the Drake Navy? I keep going back and forth on which I like better.
Nighthawks.
Probably a Nighthawk, but the Drake Navy's cheaper, so get what you pay for. I
Is it,
guess.
is it a lot cheaper though? Or I guess I don't know.
I don't know what a Drake
It's like
Navy
half,
goes for.
right?
I mean, Nighthawks are
Half,
probably
okay.
Nighthawk Fit is probably 250 to 300 million. I would assume, maybe a little more.
Oh, is it really that low? Because that's
Maybe
about
it's
what a Drake's
more.
going to be.
Yeah, maybe it's
I would
more.
have thought it was about 500-ish. If they're equally
it
priced,
is.
yeah, I think just the extra resists alone, you want to go Nighthawk.
It might be more. I don't really, command ships. I haven't really flown them much. I just got into the command ship skills like last year, but now that we have vulture fleets, it's like the first time I've actually been flying any.
Now, not in Jita, but out in our area, Nighthawk's going for 438.
Okay, so that's probably going to be 750 fit. 7 to 750 if you're doing good. So I think a Drake roughly decent fit would be about 200 to 250.
So
So 2 to
Nighthawks-
3 Drakes per Nighthawk.
Well, yeah, because I mean, a
Yeah.
Drake Navy issue is going for about 185. That's unfit, of course.
yeah.
Mm.
Now, I mean, 2 Drake Navies will probably kill a Nighthawk, but I mean, if you have X number of pilots and you put all of them in a Nighthawk, you're gonna probably have a better output than the Drake Navies.
They changed
Oh
the
shit!
bombs,
Someone's.
didn't they?
Oh, hold on. We got stand-up
Mace is
heavy
shit
guided
talking.
bomb. Can I look at?
Oh, hello.
I was like, I can't track it.
You can just watch it.
As it slowly makes its way across the field.
Ignore my shitty camera work, but I'm gonna try and see if that. Are we gonna get them? I always wonder weird because like these bombs, it's like they go out and then they'll just like go past the whole fleet. They won't explode. Oh, he hit everyone. No one died.
No, they do terrible DPS.
Yeah, they don't do like you can tank about 6 to 7 of those, and then in the Logi are probably just like, ooh, they're just randomly locking people up and repping.
Well, the frigates will die, right? It hits a bunch of frigates. They might kill
If
a
your
couple of those.
MWD's on, but you just make sure you don't.
Not
have-
assault frigates, but frigates. Right?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's SIG radius reduced, so all they have to do is
Yeah.
turn their prop off.
Yeah, if
so
they're-
hopefully their brains are on.
yeah. If
Well,
their
that's the
MWD's
problem,
off,
though.
they should
Right.
die. But also,
Once
they're
again,
they're fast
pay
enough with the prop
attention.
on. They can, if they see it coming at them, they can just MWD out of the way and not get hit by it too. So
True.
Mace. Skyrock is the real reason you're not going south is because we're kicking your ass.
No.
I think Mace might be on.
So those bombs too, like there's easy ways to get around them. Like if you're in a small gang and like they're actually a problem for you, you just ping to different spots on the grid. Because when you warp off, they will stop tracking you and just keep going off into the ether.
Yeah, so if you're
Yeah.
paying attention, you're the one that got targeted, warp off. And no one else dies around you.
yeah,
Compared to the rest of the guns and the fighters in a Fortizar, the last thing I really worry about is the bomb launcher.
yeah, but also the bombs. It's like it's not enough damage, and they have a bunch of Bazzies on field, and I mean, the Bazzies aren't really shooting the structure, so they're just bored. So when the bomb lands, like generally, I mean, what I would do with a Bazzie is you just start locking up random ships and then just topping people off. any important ships are going to be on your watch list, so you'll be able to rep those up first, and then you just start locking up people as you go. And if someone gets really low, they'll broadcast and you just fix them. So those bombs aren't going to kill anyone. I mean, might as well shoot them, but
But do you have a list of people you just won't rep because you hate them?
nah.
See, that's why I'm not lodging anymore.
Alex Sokrad. No.
He can't admit it live.
Wait, wow, man.
Yeah, no. No,
Fuck that guy.
I do not. And like, I mean, you remember back in the day when you could only
Oh, I'm
have
vindictive as hell. So
you
I
could only
tell
have a
you.
max of like 15 watch list spots, and now you can have as much as you want. But there is a point where I'm like, okay, when my watch list is taller than this overview here, it's like, all right, fuck, this is getting silly.
No one's getting added yet. Sorry.
But back in the day when you only had 15 watch list spots, is like you'd get your +2 and -2 Logi Bros on there. You get some like the link ships, the FCs, and then after that you might be like, you want to kick me 10 million? I might add you as a DPS to my watch list.
Actually, you know what? It made it
Sell it a little bit.
made it easier for the players now because they can be a little lax on the broadcasting because they know you're on their watch list, right? I mean, back when there was only 15 of them, everyone had to be Johnny on the spot on your fucking broadcast. Cause,
No,
yeah.
I usually never did that because I was like, I want the fleet to live. So I would put you put the tackle, the dictor. Well, I mean, you put your Logi. Now that you can have an unlimited list, I put all the Logi on there, period. Like, even if there's 20 Logis, I'm putting 20 Logis on my watch list. And then the FCs, and then the links, and then I usually put offensive E-War, like Hugin's and, shit like that. And Hugin's, Lachesis, stuff like that. And then Dictors and Fast Tackle. And then, I mean, and by that time, it's like my watch list is... Yeah, it's like I usually have my watch list like to the left of my overview because it's almost just as I don't really have my overview this big, but yeah, it ends up being my watch list in a big fleet is usually like 30 to 40 pilots on there, and then after that I'll look through and be like, are any of my friends that I know in this fleet? Oh yeah, I'm friends with that person. I'll put their rogue on my list, sure, but
I hate it when FCs are like, oh, if you're in frigates or destroyers, you're not going to get any reps.
No, I put because dictors are super important. Now a lot of times
super important.
Yeah, and now there's a lot of times where the dictors and the tackle frigates are so far away like you can't rep them. And at that point, it's like, okay, try to lock them. If it's like, oh, they're too far away, it's like, well, or if you lock them up and they're like 75 kilometers, like I'm not going to run my reps because you're going to heal like 10 shields per cycle, so it's not worth it. So until you get closer, I can't help you. I'd rather put my reps somewhere else. But
I've bailed out.
But if you can save them, you should save them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because dictors get you kills. You want dictors to live. You want your tackle to live because also the tackle will keep. You get a booster coming in to try and boost your Logi wing off or something. That I remember there was a guy in one of our fleets when I was at BFL like that was his sole thing. He would just follow. He would be in a frigate and he would just follow the Logi wing, and his sole purpose was to make sure that boosters or any tackle never came near the Logi wing. So he would just specifically fight them off.
A legend.
Yeah, and I'd be like, that guy always was on my watch list. I'm like, this dude, because this guy's going to keep me from getting tackled and killed, so I'm going to make sure he lives. So.
Oh, now I get it. Sky has a kitty. Jeez.
Keeps trying to nibble on my mic boom.
Is that code?
No. God.
Sorry.
Put the tuna away.
God. She's also licking my watch a moment ago. What?
That has got to be code.
Yeah. Okay. What are you doing, you weird cat?
Obviously.
He's been having the best week of his life this week since I put up that bird feeder last weekend, right out on the balcony, and it's just been free entertainment constantly. And he has not tried to go through the screen door yet.
Was anybody in the fight? Was it a couple days ago? The big one, the 500 billion ISK lost.
No, that was the EU time zone, wasn't it?
Yeah, me neither. It was during the day.
Yeah.
Here for us. So yeah.
All the big fights are happening in EU time zone, which is a bit of a bummer. But we did have it was very short lived. What was it last night, Alex?
When? I mean,
Oh no,
I
it wasn't.
mean,
It was the
what
night before.
fight?
So it wasn't last night. It was the night before. There was ISK wise, it wasn't that big. I think like we lost about 100, maybe 120 bill, and Goons only lost like 25 to 30. So definitely win on their side. But that was the first like big. I mean, I've been in a few fleets, but most of them have been like either structure shoots, like killing moon drills or hitting ANSIs or something like that. But that was the first, somewhat major engagement in the late U.S. time zone. So that was fun, but that was the one where it's like we just.
Sadly, I've been in one fight.
Well, they
so far
were.
this war.
Yeah, so what Goons was, they were intosing a bunch in some other spots. I think they were also intosing EFM, and so we jumped into them to shoot them, but we jumped in with less numbers. And also we jumped through the gate, and they were all set up and camped exactly where they needed to be. So like they had about a dozen dreads, Haw dreads that were at their optimals. They had Navy Ravens and Bargus at optimals. They had Ferox Navy, and they also had bombers all cloaked and set up and waiting. So as soon as we jumped to the gate, like 3 different bomb wings, split up by a couple minutes, all launched. Most of them missed, surprisingly. But yeah, it was just we basically jumped into a pre-form, like they were set up with more numbers and set ready for us, and we jumped into them, and it didn't go well for us. But got a fight, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I said, if you know you're going to lose, there's no sense of fighting. I understand
Yeah.
that.
I mean, we did
it's still
warp off
fun. It's
after a
still
while, but-
fun to make fun of your enemy, but it's a thing. I get it, right?
It's the exact same
Yeah.
thing that PanFam did to talked about you guys during
for sure, yeah.
the last big war.
Well, and I'm sure there'll be this war too. I'm sure there'll be times we won't take the fight because we know we can't match numbers or whatever reason. It's a thing. I mean, you don't want to take a fight and you know you're going to lose a bunch of expensive shit.
Yeah.
But every
Yeah, I
once
think
in a
people
while,
need to get over it. Like,
Well, and also
stop making
No,
fun of each other for it. Just makes sense.
Well,
That's
okay,
how
now
everybody
you-
plays.
there's-
no one will ever stop making fun of each other.
there's two
for it.
sides of it. One, shit talk is a thing. Like, regardless of the rational decision making of like disengaging, where people are gonna shit talk, right? It's a morale boost for your side, and it hits the morale of the other side. Like, oh well, it doesn't make sense for us, and then people get riled up when you just talk some shit. So it's like, I don't do it myself, but like the local shit talk and just the constant back and forth banter of,
I'll do it to
you guys
but I
always
won't
run
do it
away.
locally
Oh,
either, yeah.
running away again. It's like, well, yeah. Like if you're losing heavily, it makes sense to disengage and leave, because it's like you're not going to win the fight. You've already lost a bunch, and there's no reason to lose everything else in your fleet. You might as well recoup whatever you can ship-wise, so that you could use those in another fight later, rather than just whelp the whole fleet just to, say
If the objective is
just-
lost, there's no reason to lose your
It's
fleet.
like,
over
just to
nothing.
say you weren't a coward, that's not worth losing, 300 billion instead of 100 billion. It's like,
Do you know who says that? Cowards.
yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, the shit talk is going to happen. I mean, if whatever side is winning is going to talk shit, and I mean, and it's both sides. I mean, like if
100%, yeah.
Goons lose a fight, Horde starts talking shit. If
Hell
Horde
yeah.
if Horde loses the fight, Goons talk shit. That's just, I find
And
it
if you
funny.
don't,
I
I'll be
enjoy it.
disappointed. I'll be disappointed if they don't. Right?
Yeah.
If we don't show up to the fight, you could call us cowards because whatever.
Yeah, it's like, don't take the shit talk personally. It's just, it is what it is. It's fun. It's, hey, like you lose a fight,
Fucking cowards everywhere.
expect them to taunt you as you go back and dock up. I mean, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, fair.
It doesn't need to become nasty, and that's where you lose me when it gets.
If it
it's
gets
fun to
really
shit talk.
personal and gross, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, we just don't need it. I mean, I know that was a thing back in the day, but it's not a thing anymore. Times have changed. We just don't need that shit.
Yeah, I mean, but nowadays, yeah, I mean, it's, hey,
I mean, unless we're talking about Drayden's fucking inability to logi people. I mean,
yeah, hey, I don't. That's not inability of skill. That is a refusal of service.
that's right. Don't piss Drayden off because he will not rep you.
They didn't pay to be on my watch list. I don't see their health going down.
Where's your permit?
Yeah, where's your rep permit? Is it up to date?
So I never talk shit in the fleet because you don't want to get put on that list, right? Oh, that's it. Dominarch's not getting repped. God damn it. Two things happen when I'm fighting a fleet. Either I get don't pay attention. I'm 3 fucking jumps behind everybody, or I get there and I die right away because I did something stupid. I'm just not good. It's okay though. I figure my dying when I get there right away saves somebody else. So really, in reality, I'm kind of Logi through DPS, right? I'm saving somebody else by sacrificing myself.
You're
right?
like jumping in front. Get down, Mr.
Yeah, I'm
President.
that guy.
Dom is here.
Exactly. I'll take that shot. Okay.
Just like, I'll take the bullets. I'm saving.
I'm that kind of guy, right? You can count on me.
Dom's
I
like,
didn't. I
I'm
haven't gotten
doing
yelled
my
at in a
part.
while though.
I haven't either, except for yesterday.
You got
I
yelled
didn't,
at
I didn't get
yesterday?
no, I didn't get yelled at. It was just like we were. I was supposed to keep. I was an addictor. I was supposed to be keeping bubbles up on a gate, and then they went down, and I was like, I got up to like do something real quick, and I came back, and like there was no bubbles, and right as there was no bubbles, that's when the enemy core Navy fleet came and jumped through the gate. And he's like, "What the fuck, Drain? Where's the bubbles?" I'm like,
Oh, you want me to bubble now? Oh, I'm sorry.
my bad. It was on reload, I swear.
You guys all having a good amount of
Dictors.
fun?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The,
What's up,
the thing
Mills?
with dictors though is you can fuck up 2 ways. Bubble when you're not supposed to, not bubble when you're supposed to, right?
I always mess that up.
Everybody does it first. There's really good dictor pilots out there, but they're not all dictor pilots are good, right?
I'm trying to fly
No
dictors a
art.
bit more because I am really bad at them because I've just never done it because I'm always like, oh, I don't want to be that guy that bubbles and fucks the fleet up because you bubble your own fleet when you're not supposed to, or the guy that lets because you're like, oh, I don't want to bubble my own fleet, but then you let the enemy get away and they're like, no, bubble. It's like I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know when.
You yelled at me last time for bubbling.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah.
you
So,
yelled at me
but
this time for
I'm
not
trying
bubbling.
to fly dictors a little bit more so that I can get better at that.
That's cool. Yeah, I used to fly them quite a bit, but I would make mistakes and I was pretty good at them. I'd still every once in a while you make mistakes like, oh yeah, you get a little, fire your bubble off and like, God damn it, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it's funny
Well,
because
there's also the stealth dictor, which actually can come into play as well, where people they'll park out a range, cloak, and then decloak, run at you, popping bubbles, so you block somebody.
That's coward shit. I don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
You're gonna know I'm there. I'm gonna bubble your ass and I'll be in your face.
that works for like camps and stuff. But
It
like
does,
for like roaming fleets, you can't really do that. But yeah, I've been trying to.
That and you tell somebody, hey, sit on the gate and bubble it, and I tell you, about 50 to 75% of people will not sit on the gate correctly, right? Like, no, sit on the fucking gate so you bubble that thing. You're like, oh, I'm over here. I'm over here. Like, you're bubbling a quarter of it. What the hell are you doing? Yeah. Don't orbit at 1,000 and bubble. Yeah, sit on that motherfucker. I do like that Hictors are more of a thing now too. When they kind of died off there for a while.
Well, you
I
can do
like some
sinos with
Hictors.
them now. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're a great risk reward. Like they're
They
super
really are,
strong, but
yeah.
they can't get repped while they're strong. That's kind of cool.
And they're a lot more versatile than they used to be, right? It used to be either they could point you or they could bubble. Now they have all the choices with the different bubbles and stuff. I like them, but
I think the micro warp drive disabling thing is maybe a little bit long on the range, but it's play aroundable.
pretty big, aren't they?
Oh, it's
it's like 20 kilometers or so.
20 kilometers scram basically, which is, I think it's cool.
It's pretty harsh.
I mean, that's like for tournament stuff. The Hictors are strong. That was what Radicos was having me fly most of the time, was like flying the Hictors because, man, it's in the at least in the Alliance tournament thing. Like, well, in the tournament thing with the arena, 20 kilometer scram is so fucking good.
Do you usually use it on a kite comp or a rush comp or both?
I mean, Hictors are just good because it's good for screening and locking stuff down, both. So it's like you could, and you get either Phobos or not a rupture. What's the ruptured Hictor? The
Broadsword.
broadsword, yeah.
Broadsword, yeah.
Like
My favorite one.
Yeah, they're quick, so you can get on top stuff, but also you can screen off. You're probably a little slow to be screening off some of the tackle frigates, but what you can really do is like screen off like some of the battleships that try and come up in the brawly battleships. Like if you get like pulse pulse Abaddons or Hyperions and shit like that. You just scram them, and it's like cool.
Vindicators hate this one simple trick.
Because they have like what because they have the web bonus for speed, but not the range, right? So it's still only a 10-kilometer web. Yeah.
Even with links, you're gonna have a hard time getting that above 15
those
unless
you
you
just-
put like officer stuff on it.
Yeah, you put.
Or
Even the Dead Space one isn't that far.
Yeah,
is it?
you just sit there. You put a scram on them. You just like keep it range 18 kilometers.
Yep.
Or orbit if you don't want them to hit you because they're gonna use a blast. Probably orbit better, but
Orbit 18, yeah, you'd be super safe.
orbit 18, scram. They'll never web a thing.
Still like my Vindicator.
Well, where you get the abyssal kit and you really start to cause trouble.
I was using the Abyssal stuff when it first became a
What's up, Seema?
thing, but just I don't know.
Hey,
Same.
Seema.
Beautiful bastard Seema.
You turn up a little
Wait.
Dominer. I don't know why your
Where'd the
your
other fleet
channel
go?
seems a little quiet to me.
I'm quiet.
That the fleet warped off and the job's only half done. The fuck, Seema, you got some lazy pilots on your side over there.
Oh, maybe
It was
somebody
more with the
they're
ground?
scared. Somebody came in the system and scared them. Probably Drayden.
Oh, I've been here. Me and my anathema gonna go to fucking town.
I'm here in my shuttle. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff. Are they still hitting it? With just the well, maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's still hitting. It's looks like it's
This-
probably
what this is
about 25% armor left.
Is disdain for your fleet, for you guys. Like we don't need the other guys here. Go home. We're okay.
I mean, if they might have been damage capped. I mean, I can't imagine they'd be damage capped on a fort though. But
oh, I don't take much.
they probably just realized that they weren't going to have a fight, and so they're like, this fleet is capable of finishing it off, while the rest went and. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on, and maybe they went to GTAC-Q to gloat. I don't know.
They are damage capped, but maybe it's a rope-a-dope. They're hoping you guys bring in a bigger fleet now to take out these guys, and they'll come back in and kick your ass.
I'm having trouble
It's all
understanding your request.
psychological.
What?
It sounds like you're talking about finishing
Why does my
something
phone
and then
think I'm
mention
talking to
GTAC
it?
and the sentence structure is a bit.
Hey Siri.
It's not an iPhone.
Oh, hey Google.
Drayden, you need
Fuck off.
you need to work on your sentence structures.
The news the other day actually set off Siri for me because they said that, and half my household started responding. And actually, I said it just now, and now one of my HomePods is talking to me.
Well, and so I don't know if I mentioned this before. So it used to be the Google Assistant. Now Google has switched over. Now it's like Gemini. So it switched over. And when it did that, because I used to have like the Sydney Blue Harbor voice, so it was like an Australian accent. And then it swapped over to Gemini. It was just like this very robotic American voice. And I was just like, oh. So I was asking it, like, how do I make you do the Australian accent again? It's like, you can just ask me. There's no settings. I'm like, okay. So I asked it to just do an Australian accent. And then when I asked it the question the next time, it's like, g'day. That's a fair dinkum question. I'm like, holy shit, I wanted an accent. I wanted an accent, not like to go into full fucking redneck Aussie slang. God damn it. And
So I reckon it'll be 68 degrees tomorrow.
yeah, so then I told it, I was like, okay, can you not do that? And it's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll stop doing it. And but it doesn't matter. I've even told it like 3 different times to just stop doing the Australian thing. And every time I ask you the question, it's like, "G'day." It's locked in now. Like that's my life.
You trained the
yeah.
model. Yeah, you've trained the version of it running on your phone. You're stuck with it now.
This is the
Speaking
shit.
of
Rest of your
models, I
life.
can't recommend the Australian Love
I'm-
Island as like it's the best fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Sorry, I just keep like ships spinning
What is it?
in space and not keeping it focused. My bad.
There's a show called Love Island. It's a dating show. I guess it was in the UK first, and it's now in various other countries. Don't pay attention to any of the other stuff. Watch Love Island Australia. It's amazing. His people are insane, and it's all Australian accents. Super cute.
Well,
Uh,
Australians are insane. That's a proven fact.
Oh yeah, fucking mental. And so it's the hottest, dumbest Australians they could export to Spain legally, and they just make them live in a house together. But they have to date. If they're single at any point, they get cut.
Oh, interesting.
or at least they're eligible to get cut.
So
Let's put it like
it's
that.
Love
And then
Island, Australia, but it's in Spain.
yeah, that's on the island of
That's-
Majorca, where they're like trapped in a villa. It's very nice, but they can't leave. And the
My
sick part is at a irregular cadence, excuse me, as the couples have paired up and they're like becoming closer, they will regularly drop additional hot people that have the ability to break up couples on demand.
Oh, the the third party hot drop.
Yeah. They call them the bombshells.
Mm.
So they're out there dropping bombs, and it'll be girl bombs and boy bombs. Sometimes 2 bombs at the same time. Sometimes it's 1 girl bomb, 1 boy bomb. Who knows?
Is that kind of like an Irish car bomb?
I mean, sometimes.
Hey,
Mm.
hey, come on now. That's not.
If you go to an Irish bar, it's just called a car bomb.
No, you go to a.
No, that's a fact. I went to an Irish bar. On the menu, it was car bomb. It wasn't called
That's
an
a
Irish
very
car bomb.
that's
it
a
was
very
car bomb.
troubling statement.
I mean, is that the one where it's
Well, I
isn't
mean,
that like the cement
It's
mixer
a
thing?
shot,
if he really
it's a
wants-
shot of Jameson inside
really
of Guinness.
wants-
Oh, yeah.
He really wants to have some fun. He drops a tall boy.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Probably.
cement mixer. The cement mixer is like the weird one that like curdles. It's like
It's like
it's like
Bailey's and
Bailey's, and
lemon
then they
juice.
squirt a lemon juice so it curdles
Yeah.
into like a gel ball in the thing, and you drink it. It's like,
And they put you in like a barber chair and spin you around real fast.
oh, I don't know.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
My cousin was actually on one season of the American version of that show, and she said it was a very interesting experience. She had a lot of fun with it, though.
I could try to pronounce your name, Reg, whatever at the beginning part of it. You're right; they are pretty good, but you can't drink a lot of them because they will hurt you.
You said it's Jameson? Jameson's a
Oh,
whiskey,
it's-
right?
Yeah, Jameson
Irish
and
whiskey
like a
and
shot of whiskey inside a Guinness.
The Guinness, yeah.
It's like a Boilermaker, which is just a shot of whiskey inside a beer, right? But this is
Mm-hmm.
the Irish version of it. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, if
I
we
mean,
get
so
Zigam on,
he's-
I want you to ask him what an Irish car bomb is. I
Who?
really do. Zigam, if he comes
Mr.
on here, I
Unlucky.
want you to ask him.
Oh, yes. I'll go do his site right now. I'm gonna go to his thing.
Is he still
he
running?
still-
Oh,
Coming on?
actually, yeah, he's still streaming.
I saw-
I'm gonna ask him on.
Thought I saw a line coming from the side over there. Yeah, what's this line? It looks like someone's tethered.
You know, Drayden, I have an odd idea here. What if we use
Warp
this
down to him?
battle as the first? What if we use this battle as the first true test of the freelance system?
This war? Or you mean, because this isn't much of a battle. This is just them dunking our structure.
This is structure grind in real time.
I don't know if this is much of a battle. I mean, if it's a battle, the Fortizar is definitely losing.
Well, but let's ask the question: can we set up a bounty combat freelance? Call in people from all over the game.
I
Don't
mean, you
think
have to
you
put
can.
a bunch of money on it, but
Yeah, you can basically. Like,
yeah, you could say
that's-
shoot goons. I mean, I have a corp contract. Well, our corp rewards are like doing damage to goons. You get paid
Okay.
not much.
Mm.
You get paid more if you lose.
And
If you're doing
Well, I
something
mean,
you
yeah.
love, you never worked
Yeah,
a day in your life.
there's like one that's like kill goons, and it's like it's peanuts for the damage you do. But then there's one called top feeder, and like for every ship you lose, like the value of the ship, you get paid.
Nice.
It's actually not SRP. It's just like, oh hey, congrats, you're feeding. Here's some pennies. You know, like,
I mean, it would be a perfect test of the system to see if we can, bring in third-party actors to kind of goof around.
I mean, I'd be down. I don't have the IS to throw at something like that though. I'm sitting on a total of about 3 billion liquid ISK, which I need all of that to probably replace ships.
Wow, you guys do need a bake sale.
and I- and
Jesus.
I
that's me.
won't spend my pile of ISK, my little dragon horde, on something like that. Although I'm not going to say what it is, but there is something that because I'm going to wait for Redline to announce it. but I am investing or sponsoring something that Redline's going to be doing and hopefully announcing soon.
Yeah. I'm flying more Horde stuff. I'm not doing as much of the PL stuff, so I'm not getting PL SRP. So I basically am not getting SRP right now, which makes it even more expensive to do a war. But
Who needs? See, I don't do SRP.
Drayden, if you were to like struggle to have S for ships in this war, I'd help you out.
I mean, I could I could swap over to Horde. I've been thinking about doing that, and then I can get SRP
3/4
proper.
Becky.
Or you
Good
just
question.
swap over to my corp and slice.
But then you have to be in Slice.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Slice
Plus
is legit. I got respect for Slice.
Wait, why did it just zoom out? Oh, it reinforced. Okay. Oh shit.
Why
Oh,
is-
the jig is up. They know where I'm at. Ah, here they
They
come.
got-
I'm kidding.
they triangulated the stream and figured you out.
No, it. I was looking at the structure and then it reinforced, so it reset onto my ship.
I always did love that, like during the last war, whenever Brisk would be streaming battle coverage or something, and people would be trying left and right, like during the meta show, to find and decloak him.
Well, I used to happen to Redline a lot too. Try to figure out where he's at.
Oh, it's Mrs. Gigex. Wait, she plays now?
Wait, what?
Oh, there's this.
Where's that sound from?
There's a player called
A meme name, if I ever heard one.
Mrs. Gigex.
Just log in for the fight or lose her hands over it.
Oh, hey, there's Ziggo.
Oh.
Shit! Ziggo!
Hey.
Welcome!
I want-
people.
I know all the longtime Eve players are going to understand the reference. I really wonder how many, what the percentage of the population of the game now doesn't recall. those
Probably
things.
close to, I would say less than 5%.
Welcome,
It
guys.
was awesome when it happened. Everyone paying attention at the time heard about it, but I doubt it's been mentioned much since.
How did the fleet go, Unlucky? I saw you in Harpies earlier, but was it Harpies? I think it was Harpies.
Well, the structure reinforced, so you know.
Well,
how-
no, well, he wasn't fighting there.
Oh, okay.
Shut the fuck up, Dom.
When I saw they were in they were in 4th Tech H, I think, earlier. So that's frat home system.
Come hop on the show, Mr. Unlucky. We'll give you a drag from Public.
No, I don't. Wait, a Rev is dying. Where? On Ansi.
Wait, what?
In I'm in
Where?
EFM. Is this going on in MTech G or GTech Q? I mean.
All good.
Oh, he's on a fleet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were just watching the fort in EFM get reinforced, just in case there was a fight over it. There was not. If the Rev is dying in GTech Q, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through this gate safely to see it. But
What do you mean? You got in there, no problem.
well, I mean,
Don't worry about it.
I could
Just go
get through
through
the gate, but then my nullifier will be on cooldown, and I don't think I'll make it out of the other side. But
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send them a message. I'm gonna tell them to let you go. Let you
yeah,
go.
hey, just
You'll be safe.
tell Ash, blew me up real quick. Me specifically.
Blow Drayden real quick.
Yeah.
Ah.
What if I just ask him in local, hey, can I come through the gate? Will you guys let me through? They'll probably let me through.
Tell you that sumo wrestling streamer watching, and Raiden
Yeah,
asked,
it's-
"Hey Asher, can you send me blue so I can do this?" He's like,
Oh, okay,
No.
so GTech Q.
he just said no.
I mean, I could try and YOLO it GTech Q, but I mean, I could get into GTech Q.
You don't have a jump clone in every system around the area? What the hell?
You know, honestly, you know what? Fuck it.
Dread.
Dread is okay. It died. I would say I could. You know, fuck it. It's an anathema. It'll die, and then I'll spawn in GTech Q, and I can just undock. I probably should. Yeah, whatever. Now that I think about it, I should just docked up in the keep here. Oh no, but the clone bay's off because it's reinforced. So never mind. But is that a Hector bubble? Probably. That's a big one. Damn.
All right, Sig. A question. What do you think about Irish Mist? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's utter shite?
Well, he said he's got a fleet.
Like right before it
He's-
rains? You talking about?
I don't know if he's listening. He's got another fleet running or something. Oh no. Oh, he doesn't drink.
Oh, you don't? Oh. I did not know that.
There's so many jokes there, but can't do it.
I have no jokes for that. I respect.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore, but I don't drink any less either.
Like Mark Twain said, it's quitting smoking is easy. I've done it thousands of times.
Who wants to be a quitter?
Nice.
Come on.
Nobody wants to be. Nobody likes to quit.
Rev died. F. Wait, what the
What
hell
was the rep
just?
doing out by himself on a gate?
What just happened?
He should be. He should have died.
Whoops.
Apparently, mouse, thumb, button plus F is full screen in Chrome. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Should have put F in chat.
I've fucking done that before too. It pisses me off. It's like, how did I fucking do it? How did I turn it back? God damn it.
Is there anything that's not?
Well, I don't look forward to the tie dyeing that you guys go through, but I'm glad something interesting is happening in the game that we get to all talk about.
One,
It's gonna be my first. This is actually for me my first like big null war, because before I was always like involved. I lived around Pravi Block for a long time, not like and then in Wrecking Crew, so we never got quite up to the scale of like usually big fights that would have a lot of tie dye except for here or there. So it's gonna be.
How
a
many
different
people were
feel
in
for me.
system, Drayden?
There's just about
How many
500.
were in system?
It was like 800 and something earlier, 880.
So about 50% tie dye then?
There wasn't any tie dye here because
Oh, there
there was
wasn't?
only there wasn't a whole lot going on, so it was pretty minimal. I was gonna say the fight I had a couple days ago. So it was the same day that some of the forts were getting hit. So the system it was the same day where there's the big EU fight that was like 6 hours long. And so the node was reinforced in EFM. And then
I'm guessing all of Innsmother's reinforced
later
right now.
that evening we had a fight. So this was Wednesday. And we go in there and there wasn't, I mean, there was a bit of people in there, but I don't think it was more than 800 total, 600 to 800. No, it was probably like 1,200. Now that I think about it. But still, 1,200 people on a reinforced node, you would think wouldn't cause, and it's not like there was a shitload of, I mean, there was drones out and stuff, but there wasn't like a bunch of carriers and a bunch of bullshit. And the tie-dye was kind of surprisingly high. It was really high. But it didn't get to 10. It got to 10% a little bit, but once people got through the gate, then the tie-dye went to like 26%, which I was like, okay, that should be still really slow, but it shouldn't be causing the client to like fuck up a whole lot. But it was really choppy. Commands weren't going through. Broadcasts weren't working. People having to do like the broadcast in the fleet chat, like linking people that way, because like broadcasts just weren't going through. We had to set up a separate chat channel for people to X up to get reps instead of broadcast. Like, and it's like for 800 and something people in a fight on a reinforced node, I feel like that should never have been that heavy of an issue. It was kind of weird. But
It is kind of weird, yeah.
That's so
Yeah, they've been
interesting to
having
hear
some
us
weird-
talk that way, because remember back in the
there's some.
day when the server would absolutely crap itself at 200 people?
Black screen of death.
Yep. Literally, I mean, not even a meme, literally unplayable. If you got more than 100 people in a single grid, you risked everybody crashing and having all sorts of weirdness.
This is
So
actually
you
our first.
continue to bitch about server fucking. Oh, the servers need more hamsters and shit. Fuck off. You have no idea what you're talking about.
And this is actually the first like
Well, they
big
use squirrels
war
instead of
since we got the latest hardware on Tranquility, because there's been a
Oh, that's
server
true.
there's been a hardware refresh since the last big war. And I kind of wonder actually how many nodes or like systems they can really reinforce for these big fights versus what it used to be.
I wonder if that is why we saw some weird lag there, because if they probably haven't had a chance to do anything but test it in a testing environment, because players haven't strained it. So maybe it didn't behave the way they expected. I'd be interested to
Yeah.
see if that behavior repeats or if they do some kind of deep dive on it and fix it before the next big fight.
Well, I know
Well,
they.
there is some issues that were tested during some of the CC openings lately, but mostly was like, they're trying to make sure that we don't crash the server by, swapping skins, rapidly. There was some interesting things where, like, if it was only a few people, after a little bit, it would start going tie-dye crazy, and then you would end up with like not as many people as we have on Tranquility Fights, but barely like 500 people, and issues would happen.
What triggers the
I'm
tie
not.
dye? Is it a software thing or is it a hardware thing? Right?
It's
Hardware.
software.
Well,
It's
both.
software
Mix of
triggering because of
mix
a
of both.
hardware limitation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
limitation.
Because it can only run so many calculations, and so when a bunch of commands come through, and once it realizes that it can't
It's-
process all the
it's-
commands in the same server tick, it then will slow
Mhm.
tie-dye. It'll slow the server down so that it has more time to process the same number of commands for the same
Mhm.
virtual tick
Is it
of a
still
server.
because-
It has to fail before it kicks in, basically.
Well, yeah, and
Well,
but
no,
once-
it
once
I
it's-
wouldn't
reaches
say
a certain
fail.
it reaches a certain threshold.
Yeah,
essentially.
10% is
Yeah.
the lowest it'll go. Once it gets to 10% tie-dye and then too many commands are coming through, then you start having commands that are basically skipped and sent to the next server tick, which can cause, that's where
Mhm.
you start having guns like not cycle. Like the game is still running and you're having server ticks go through and it's just not registering your command or your modules because other people are in queue and you're just basically having to wait your turn. And then as more and more stuff happens, it gets bogged down even more, and then so now you have 10% tie-dye on top of a shitload of lag, on top of just a bunch of dropped commands, and that's where it just turns into a nightmare. But
So I
So what
don't.
you're saying is
They
IT
didn't really
professionals'
talk about.
fault.
They didn't
Right.
really talk about this during the last like hardware dev blog, but they did with the one before that, where they essentially could move certain systems not only manually, but the game would essentially automatically go, oh, this system is under heavy load. Hang on, let me swap it over to running on a different piece of actual metal to make it more efficient, like have more devoted resources. I'm kind of curious, like what the current state of that, automatic like managing of what server resources
But
and how
that's
that
that's
works.
reactionary as opposed to reinforced node is
Well, yeah, you can.
you plan it ahead of time, right? But that's so you're saying it
Used
will
to, it used to
actually
be only manual, and then at one point they talked about how they're like in addition to the where you can like notify CCP like, hey, shit's gonna go down here, here, and here. Please reinforce. Okay, thanks. The game would also automatically react to what players were doing and
That's cool.
reinforce node itself.
oh, here's that rat that died.
It should, yeah.
Wait, Abyssal Siege module.
What?
Does
Yep.
that can that actually affect the bonuses
What'd
you
it
get for
do, though?
Siege? Yeah, I was like,
What are the
I didn't know that
changes?
abyssaling a siege module would actually change any. Does it change like your damage rating and stuff?
Yeah. I
Okay.
believe.
I mean attributes.
So the Horde approves, apparently.
Interesting.
Well, or this is a situation where you ask forgiveness instead of permission. Or they killed
I've
the
never
pod,
even
they
thought
glitched.
to abyssal roll a siege mod. That is
I
So-
never
Yeah,
would have
would not
thought
have
of that
crossed
either.
my mind.
Yeah.
I'm giving you guys an example too in Twitch chat. I found this just now on Reddit with a quick search, so you can see some of the attributes that it'll fuck with. So those are the mutaplasmids that will mess with siege modules.
Mhm.
So that's your range of what you can tweak it.
Broccoli per day? I don't know. I actually had some broccoli today. So some. Broccoli's delicious.
No.
Today was green
No.
bean day.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, I think
We didn't
like Drayden, one of the weird things we
Spared
had during
Mrs.
the
Bradley.
Aram Fenar war, where it was kind of strange because what happened was we really didn't have as much tie-dye or it weren't supposed to be triggering it off, but it was actually interesting because we were getting reports from people in like systems that weren't even really high traffic that were triggering off. So there is some, like, as Skyhawk is talking about here, is the software side, but I think it's kind of unusual because it seems that like it'll hit not just one system, it'll hit like a whole bunch of areas. I don't know how they have it programmed in where they route the information nodes in, because it's like if you have so many of these nodes server wise, you know, how many of the systems of Eve are split apart per node set. And then if this one is going into tie-dye, just one system, you know, from what I remember seeing and hearing, it was like a couple different systems that weren't really even doing much would suddenly start
Yeah.
having all kinds of problems, and even sometimes lag and all kinds of other issues.
Yeah. So if tie-dye is affecting something, it'll affect all the systems that are on that node. So now a reinforced node, if they know a big fight's happening, they'll reinforce the node and they'll put that one system on its own node by itself. So that's why when that thing was going on the other night, you jump into EFM and tie-dye hit, you get back into GTAC Q, 0 tie-dye. But which is only one jump apart. But yeah, if it's not a known fight that's coming up, they will usually have and like I don't know how they spread it out, but I know they'll have different multiple systems. But sometimes they'll have a whole I don't know if they'll have whole regions on a single node usually, but oftentimes constellations will be on nodes by themselves. And so if you have a fight that it just randomly spurred off and kicked off a ton of tie-dye, and that whole constellation's on the node, all the systems in that constellation will have the same tie-dye. So even if you jump in a system, there's like 3 of you in local, you'll have heavy tie-dye. If there's like 2,000 people fighting 3 jumps away in the same constellation type of thing.
Could it also be mosaic, where they pull from different areas and kind of make like a collage of different systems because they look at these systems are not taking much processing
It might
power.
be. Yeah, it might not all be
'cause
localized in the same thing, but I've never really I don't think they do the mosaic thing like you were saying. I don't think I think it's a much more localized like grouped together, because there's been times I've you jump into a system and it's like, oh, there's heavy tie-dye, but the fight's the fight is always nearby. I've never jumped into a system that had a bunch of tie-dye because a fight was happening 20 jumps away. I've never seen that.
But they will be in
that's
different regions sometimes. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you're right.
so
They're
that's-
close to each other, but they're not.
Yeah, like if
they're
you're
not
getting,
always.
Yeah,
so
if you're
back-
getting tie-dye in a system because of a big fight that's on the same node, that fight is usually somewhere nearby. It's not
not necessarily really. So like I remember I was living in Providence back during the First World War B, and there was all of that stuff was up in the north, far away from us. And when there would be a big fight up there, we would sometimes see tie-dye kick in down in Providence in a system here or there. And it's just because they happen to be on the same node as the system on the other side of the galaxy. They're not tied location-wise at all if they're on the same node. It's actually better for them to not be geographically close to each other.
So basically, it's the thought process for them is that if each node, each of these server nodes is set up, it allows them to kind of distribute and spread out the weight. But then when we have a fight, that creates a spike in the node, which then kind of radiates out, affecting as it's trying to balance everything out until it gets too much, and then it has to be shifted to something else.
Yeah,
Which is why, like, when you put in a request for a system to be reinforced, what they do is they actually take that system and they move it onto its own, like, dedicated, beefier node, basically.
And real quick for the chat, no one here, we're not talking about tie-dye is the reason for anyone winning or losing a fight. We're simply discussing how tie-dye works. This has nothing to do with any of the fights that have gone on. Like, none of us are saying that any fight was won or lost because of tie-dye. Like, so if that's what you're thinking we're saying, then you're misunderstanding what we're talking about here. I only mentioned the EFM GTAC-Q thing because I was talking about how EFM was a reinforced node the other night. So it was on a reinforced node by itself, which is why EFM had tie-dye and GTAC-Q, which was right next door, didn't. But I wasn't saying implying that had anything to do with the winner or the loss of the fight. We're talking about the functionality of tie-dye, not any fights.
Well, I mean, like that's like we've got Bayou Blackbeard talking about it, so like it's kind of interesting. It would be interesting to for some of our more interesting players who like to chase data to take notes from people across Eve during major fights to kind of map out how the effects are
Thanks,
before
Tamper.
the node pull. That would be an
Timber.
interesting. Hey, Timber.
Jamber.
Yeah,
It would be interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Look
I know.
at
There's a lot of
data.
people that will blame tie-dye for a lot of things, but I generally don't, because like tie-dye affects both sides equally, so it's not.
Mhm.
Tie-dye saved my super once, so I love tie-dye.
There are times where tie-dye can have a benefit to one side or the other, but I generally don't get into any of that because it's hard to
One of
say like until
one of
after
my
the fact.
favorite one of my favorite examples of that actually is back in like 2016 or 2017, maybe even 2018, I don't know, somewhere around there. Snuffed Out, and along with CVA had reinforced the Wrecking Crew Keepstar, and Kamal put it into Hull Timer, and Rocket was able to get some other Deep Null groups to come up and assist us. We actually got like goons as well as PanFam to come and help us on that. And Kamal node was reinforced, but most of the systems that the attackers had to move through to get there were not. So what ended up happening was the fight ended up being in a system that was not on a reinforced node, got tie-dye to hell, and then they were stuck in there while in real time, no tie-dye kicking in, the Keepstar timers started counting down, and they ended up never being able to make it to the grid. Ooh,
Mhm.
Damahose. Oh, he can't hear me. Alex just had food delivered.
Hmm.
All right, Alex, I got to know, what kind of pizza did you order?
Well, it's from Domino's, but it's not even pizza.
Oh,
It's a pasta,
you get the bread bites?
The chicken.
pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread.
Because
Ah.
Domino's pizza sucks. It's the fucking worst pizza out there.
It's great when
Gross.
I'm trashed, though.
Fucking gross. No,
It's-
it's gross. It gives me
it's
heartburn
okay.
every time I eat. No, it's
Oh.
So-
You know what,
cardboard.
Dom? You know what, Dom?
heartburn,
It sounds
what?
like you're a bit of a bitch.
I'm not a
okay?
huge bitch. I'm a huge bitch. Not a bit. I'm a huge whiny bitch. But Domino's sucks. Sucks.
Dunk.
So
Dude,
you probably-
Dunk.
It's good.
Oh
Come
my
on.
God, Dunk! I haven't
Dunk
seen Dunk in a while.
Dinkle.
Dunk, are you back
It's
for this
not.
war?
Dunk. Oh my God,
Jesus.
Dunk Dink,
Dunk.
dude.
I love Dunk.
Oh, no
Come in,
way.
Come in and
Dude,
say
Good to
hi.
see you,
I
man.
was like, all the people
Good
are
to
coming
see
back.
you.
You know who? Like Lazarus Telraven was in a fleet. Laz is back playing E for goons. I remember the Lazimo. I was in that shit. That was back when I was still in Imperium.
Hashtag shots for Dunk Dinkle.
I don't. Hell yeah, I drink Dunk Dingle.
Oh hell.
I don't know. Back in the day, Laz was a great FC. I fought against him many times. He's really good. We came back to that last war. He struggled at first until he had to relearn the game. It took him about like 3 days to learn everything. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn it, that's not fair. People aren't supposed to be that smart.
Keep a memory.
I flew under Laz when I wasn't in goons, but I was in. I think I was in TNT at the time, but yeah, I was in TNT. But I remember that was during the old Fountain War, the Lazimo fight. That shit was fun as fuck.
The first Fountain War.
It was the
Yeah.
one where like goons went against Test. Test was in
Yeah,
Fountain.
the first Fountain War.
Oh, okay.
I was on the test side. That's the first time Billy kicked me out of Fountain.
Oh,
Then he kicked me out again at the next war when he was on test side. He kicked me out of Fountain. Fucker.
yeah, no, that was
Well,
fun.
I think have you learned your lesson to not live in Fountain?
No, I didn't. I still like Fountain. I want to go back. No. There's two places that I've got a soft spot in my heart: Fountain and shitbox Pravi. I won't go there again, but I still have. Yeah,
So
I'd love for that.
I'm same place with you with Pravi. I don't think I could ever live there again. Definitely never under CVA.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go back to
No.
CBA either.
That's
But
not a
it's-
life.
No, it's not.
Well, even though
Well,
you're
also
not,
I'm pretty sure I am because like I was exec for TRC at one point when we were fighting against CVA and was in wrecking crew leadership at the time. I do not think CVA would ever let me in. I was actually part of the group that helped with getting Care Factor disbanded, which was kind of the last domino to fall before they actually pulled out.
Defending the keep. Wait, the keep's in reinforced though.
Are they
Oh, wait, was the
shooting
keep in GTAQ getting shot? I was in EFN the whole time, so I didn't.
there's another. I told you earlier. There's another keep getting hit. Earlier.
The GTAQ one. They were shit.
I missed it because
I just
I'm
moved my shit
dedicated to
into-
you. To here, I didn't go.
Oh.
And I didn't want to.
I should have stayed in GTAQ. What was I doing in EFM? What the fuck?
Watching us
Oh.
reinforce your fort.
Oh, it's not reinforced.
That
though.
re-
You know
I
what,
thought it
Dom?
was the armor
you know what,
timer.
Dom?
Oh, you think it's these are probably just decloak cans. How much? You think there's any like money down here? You think if I start looting, they'll come kill me? Wait, what
No,
the
you
fuck
might
is
as
this?
well loot 'em.
They're gonna go after this Ocketer. You know what? I'll see what happens.
Throw down an MTU.
No, but you can put a tractor beam on Ocketer. Yeah, I was like, here comes the. Surprised that flycatcher didn't come down. All right, I'm gonna go and check
I keep trying to fucking move your screen on fucking on Twitch. You're doing fucking look at it better. Oh, hot drop. Where's the hot drop? Thanks for stopping by, Lucky.
Oh, that's too far away.
You're not gonna go help him, are you?
I was gonna go try and loot what I could before that, but that guy started locking me up already. So I do not have any tank on this thing. I'll
Bayou,
melt.
yes. We are deployed.
Yeah, you guys are in. Was it 1S or not?
We're
1S.
everywhere. Everywhere.
You're everywhere and nowhere.
Everywhere. You'll never find us.
Too late.
Where are we? We're in several
I'm
places.
gonna tell you.
probably. I know where we are. I know where we are. Kinda.
Do you?
I got people. I got things and stuff in places.
Goonies are still staged. I mean, they have a fort now.
Yeah, I answered that already.
They were all in the fort in EFM. Oh, you did. Okay.
We are deployed. I mean, yeah, that's what he meant. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like they were all in a fort there in EFM. There's also a fort right outside the Keep Star in HB TAC 1 or something. Innsmother's been in Tosis quite a bit. I actually haven't looked at the SOV, but I know that it looked like
Looking
there's
at
at
it
least
right now.
at least a couple constellations have been flipped SOV wise so far. But
There are. Let's see. And then there's 3 systems reinforced right now from what I'm 4, 5.
yeah, well, there's the Keep Star in EFM that's reinforced,
God,
and
wait.
that'll be on a structure timer in
Monday, you said?
Yeah, Monday. It'll be somewhat early Monday EU, or it'll be early afternoon. Well, depending on where. Early afternoon West Coast U.S. time zone. It'll be around like 6 or 7 p.m. East Coast U.S. So that I'm assuming will be a fight. I'm gonna try and get home. Nope, I already know. I'm not gonna be home, but I might get home halfway. we already went through
Fucking
this.
Omaha on fucking Monday too.
Yeah, I should
I
be
think
able
you're
to-
going to be sick on Monday, aren't you?
No, if it's a big fight, there's gonna be massive tie dye, and so even if I'm like 3 hours late to the fight, it'll still be going on. So I should be there.
That's one advantage. You'll never be late.
I should be there at least halfway
there you
through
go.
it,
Yeah.
probably on Monday. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey guys, I really gotta drop. I don't know how much longer y'all are planning on going for, but
No, I'm
Yeah.
down to send a raid. Because I think we pretty
I'm
much
at the
covered.
cooldown,
Yeah, we pretty much hit all the
cool
stuff.
down everything because it's 84 degrees inside my house.
Damn.
Turn the air conditioning on.
yeah, turn that baby on.
It's dead.
That's
Deader than a
Oh,
doornail.
That sucks.
I've
No,
had that
I'm telling you
happen.
right now, I'd be at Walmart fucking buying several cheap looking window units. I'm
What do we got?
It's fun
it's a
because
bitch
you have
and
to go.
big weenie.
Windows are painted shut. The things
I
like a
have portable one and
1960.
just sit it there. It'll fucking do something.
I'm happy I've got Vornadoes in play, but you know, it's it's a great way to lose weight.
No, it's an
Alright.
awful way. It's an awful way to lose weight. You know what I'd be doing? Motel.
Mhm.
I would not stay.
So
I've slept 4 days
He's got a lizard in
in
there.
this type of temperature.
Bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon. There you go. It's a lizard, though, right? Yeah.
so we can send the raid to. Narcos is on.
I could bring her out onto the stream. She's accessible. Give me a second. I should have done it way back when.
Yeah. Let's look at his
Oh, I think we can kind of see
at
her
his
actually
bearded-
right now.
bearded clam. What is it?
Bearded clam.
That's probably not it.
We could raid you, Adama Scout. No, let's not do that.
Let's read a Narcos and spell it wrong again.
Yeah, no, we could. Yeah, we could do a Narcos. Morty Snerd's on. Just seeing if there's anyone else. Wait, what is this?
Aw.
I like Morty.
18 plus may contain sexual themes. Wait, this is an Eve stream?
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
I mean, those exotic dancers are in the game for a reason.
Shauna Succubus with Dragonfire. Okay, no, we're not gonna send anyone there.
I'll tell you right now, ours is 18 plus, also because of things and stuff.
I mean,
Kids should not watch us.
oh, apparently there's a
You'll
4th
send
of
it to Narcos.
July Cleveland meetup.
No Bluetooth. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. No worries.
No, don't ever be upset about that. Oh, he's cute. Does he bite?
Oh,
No, not on your life.
Oh.
She's super
I'm not.
quiet.
Oh, damn. I
Aw.
want a lizard that bites on command. Three
She's a little
toads.
sweetie. She doesn't bother anybody.
Mhm.
Look at that tail,
What
though.
do they eat?
Oh, wow.
bugs.
Yeah, it's not a toad. It's about her body length, maybe 150% her body length. She'll eat a mix of vegetables and bugs, like roaches. She likes.
Like roaches. Local pet store.
I actually get them shipped in. It's cheaper.
Like Amazon?
It's called Dubia.com. We'll give those guys a shout out. It's pretty much. It's a little bit more expensive than the pet store that I can get them at, but if you factor in the time and the gas to go get there, pretty much coming out ahead of really, and it just shows up in your mailbox. They're roaches, so if you don't pick it up immediately, it doesn't really matter. They're not going to do anything.
Have you tried
Oh,
the,
shit.
the tomato hornworm?
We just got
delivery
raided by
system?
raid. Welcome everyone. Thanks for the raid. We are literally. I was literally typing a raid to send the raid off.
Now we have to stay
Again.
for 1 minute to please these people, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks
Well,
for the raid. But I was about to raid a Narcos. It looks like he's doing some PvP roaming and shit.
Well, there's a company that I know that flies out different things, including tobacco hornworm, which is also used for reptiles.
Oh yeah, she loves them. They're not healthy
Oh,
for her
yeah.
to eat all the time though, because apparently they're real
Yeah,
fatty.
true.
It's like eating a cake for dinner.
Before you send off, we've got all these
Yeah.
lovely people here. Just going to do another shout out for our YouTube channel. All of the shows here are also now getting posted over to YouTube. So check us out, subscribe.
Also, check out Declarations of War podcast, longest
Yeah.
running Eve podcast.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah.
love it, appreciate it.
Still functionable.
Yeah. All the buildings have been shot for the night, I think. So we're gonna send the raid over to Narcos.
All the what's been shot?
All the buildings.
Buildings. I thought I said billions. I mean, fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, billions have been shot.
We did not dip
You're not
under
wrong.
our trillions, right? We're still.
Not yet. All right. Wow, that's going fast. Normally it gives like a minute timer. All right. Bye, everybody. 3 seconds.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, you
Thanks,
guys have
Al.
fun.
Oh wait,
Come
no.
back.
Okay, no. That's until I can send it. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
my
All right. False alarm. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you all next week.
It's
And
only a little bit embarrassing.
we're gonna
Just a little bit.
send you to a
Just a little
Narcos. Have a good night.
Later, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming.
All right, should
Yeah,
be
thanks,
go.
Todd.
Oh, I really got to drop. I'm like 30
Bro, I
minutes
still haven't
plus
seen the new
expiration date.
Oh,
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen the new
I know
map.
what your
I
time
was
zone
DMing
is.
Dominark the whole time. Like, bro, I'm tired. I gotta go.
Open
How long are we
control.
going for? What's going on?
I don't ever look at my DMs. I apologize.
No, it's all good, man.
You guys will
Oh,
go till
guys,
2 in
this
the
is so
morning.
much fun.
It's hot
God,
drop
I really appreciate
Yeah, all right.
Yes,
I've got to
we're-
go, but
Yeah.
let's keep in touch.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. We're here every Friday, and
Bro, I still
you're free
haven't
to
checked
come
the
with
new
us
map.
for as
Can
long as you
believe
want to
it?
stay.
Oh, sweet, man. Thank you.
How is your stream?
All right,
Open
I'm gonna hop
comms,
off, guys.
Thank you
I'm
very
gonna
much.
go
And guys,
get something to eat. I think.
Sophie.
Yeah,
your
I need
fans
to
are
shovel
here.
some calories into my
You
stomach.
have soup.
Hey, what's
I
up?
didn't eat it all. I didn't have time.
I wanted to hear some